Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
I must be the greatest. Let's get that done. I've been here before, and I know what it takes. Hard work, dedication. Boxingvoice.com. Mayweather is the best.
Win, lose, or draw, we come in to fight. Can't nobody take that away. We're coming to fight.
They do what they can, I do what I want.
When you look at how he throws that left hook, it starts out really low. We're going to see what kind of character he is. Oh, and the lefts and rights by Medina. And it's all Marcos Maidana here. A lot of those punches off his shoulder.
I think anybody out there listening or kid, anybody, I think that's a dangerous deal to make.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Hashtag TBV Podcast. We have a whole bunch of topics. Obviously, we have to talk the young master, Terence Crawford, pitching a shutout versus the hardcore fans' favorite, Felix Diaz from the Dominican Republic. That gold medal didn't help Saturday night. We got to speak about the youngest champion in charge, GTA, Gervonta Tank Davis, doing his thing, knocking out Liam Walsh and definitely shining in the UK. Call him and Floyd the UK Conquerors. Gary Russell knocking the dust off, coming back in the ring after over a year to take on and defeat his game mandatory challenger, Oscar Escandon, last night in a pretty entertaining matchup. And their co-main event, the brother of Anthony and Andre Dirrell versus Jose Uzcategui, right? Uzcategui, which turned into something much more, and you're definitely going to want to stick around for all the details to their ugly, basically barroom brawl in the ring. David Benavidez, man, could we sound like a parrot around here? A star is born, or is a star born? Without the backing of Floyd Mayweather, without the UK, this guy put on a masterful performance versus a top contender that definitely has all the experts in boxing now looking his way after shedding almost 80 pounds of flesh, getting down to a mean, lean 168 pounds and just being such a aggressive style of fighter. We have all this and more to talk about because we have, Toyota Corolla. Some are saying robbery, and Dom is saying no rematch. We're going to have to get into that. The Hipster, I know the Hipster, he's got to be upset. So let's jump out to the Golden State, to the home of the Hipster.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck yeah. Conor McGregor. Boxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
Boxingvoice.com.
Before anything, Ness, give me some crow.
Crow? So early in the day, huh?
That's for that bullshit decision against my boy, Ryota Moreta. I'm not going to go as far as to say a robbery. I think it's of the line of like a Triple G Jacobs decision, Roman Gonzalez, Sarakat, Andre Ward, Kovalev, where it's just there's a lot of close rounds to where you can make arguments both ways, and those string rounds, because there's so many of them, it leads to very murky decisions. I think most people scored it for Ryota Moreta, but it doesn't matter. He lost. First professional loss. Have to eat some crow for my boy, but he knocked down Hassan Nadam, and he was looking pretty good throughout the fight. He definitely looked like he belongs in the top 10, and not only a guy with 13 professional fights, I assume that he's only going to get better. This is a learning fight. And obviously we have Terence Crawford, arguably maybe pound for pound the best fighter today, putting on a clinic against Olympic Felix Diaz. I think everyone that thought Felix Diaz was a good boxer was shocked to the degree of domination by Terence Crawford. And obviously there's other shenanigans to get into, which we have a whole show, and we're going to have callers calling in. I can't wait to chop it up. But let's get down to the topics.
I mean, let's just go right to the bread and butter. Terence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. It was exactly what the true hardcore expected. The optimistic hardcore, well, he had a different night planned out, one where Felix Diaz, the Olympian, would test and push Terence Crawford. The unofficial scales, Matt, was 161 for Felix Diaz and 157 for Terence Crawford. What are your thoughts immediately when you heard that?
That specifically, I thought for anyone saying that Terence Crawford shouldn't move up, I don't understand that argument. We've had guys like Errol Spence saying he walks in at fight night at that weight, that same exact weight, 157. He said that. So we have Errol Spence, this massive welterweight, saying he walks in at that number. And yes, that's him. That's his word. That's not actual scales. There's no number there.
Well, remember that he has to because of the IBF 10-pound weigh-in. So he weighs in at 47. Next day, he's got to be 57.
True. So then we have Terence Crawford weighing that same amount for a fight at 140. Terence Crawford can move up to 147 right now and fight any of the top guys and potentially win. You know, and thank God he's actually calling these guys out. He called out Manny Pacquiao. Finally actually said Pacquiao. And then he said Keith Thurman, which, I know me and you were having an off-air discussion about this, Ness, about how awesome of a fight that is potentially, and how, you know, Terence Crawford could beat them all. You know that. So I want Terence Crawford to do big things. He's a fighter that can do big things. So I expect.
You better not duck me, son. You better not duck me, son.
Is all I'm gonna say, because Crawford.
Come on, very quickly, very, very quickly. I'm just gonna say this: Terence Crawford. He can do big things. So I expect big things from him, just like everyone else. That I think can do big things.
Hey, I hear you, man. I hear you. He did big things last night. If we stay topic based, he did marvelous things. The way that he worked that jab, doubled, tripled. I mean, he toyed with him mentally. He did some of the Lomachenko tactics, you know, which probably added to his personality. It was even brought up in the post-fight interview with Max Kellerman. Do you think, for those out there that may have been turned off by a previous version of Terence Crawford, that this kind of antagonistic Crawford in the ring appeals to them now?
I think the type of boxing fan that doesn't like the Victor Postal fight, for example, will still not like this fight, unfortunately. Or they just might, at this point, not be into Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford has not given that section of fans anything else to really be gravitated to. His boxing excellence is what most of us are gravitated to, but the guys that aren't, or the women that aren't invested in that type of boxing and boxers, they're never going to be into Terence Crawford fights, in my opinion. They like the Gamboa fight, but his other fights, the Thomas Delorme fight, they don't like. They don't like the Victor Postal fight. They don't like the John Molina fight. They don't like the Mickey Bay fight. They don't like any of those fights because it's too technique oriented.
But it sounds like he's already getting that Mayweather stigma where people are like, you know, they haven't mentioned, he's running, but like you're saying, that, you know, kind of the Rigondeaux effect where he's defensive minded or whatever it is that turns him off. To me, it's a masterful performance. I thought what he did, you know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I knew that this would happen, and I hated that he had to go through this to prove it to guys like you specifically. Guys like you.
Me specifically. What do you mean prove it? Hold on, very, 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 very fast.
Because there were guys like you.
I've always said Terence Crawford is arguably pound for pound number one.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm
and
not
I've also said that at 140, there's no one there.
I'm not putting any words in your mouth, Matthew.
It is worse than 160.
Matthew,
shit's on middleweight. 140 is the most barren division in boxing right now. So that's why I said if he's going to stay at 140, I want him to fight Felix Diaz because that would be a good fight because no one else would give him that type of fight. And it turned out that not even Felix Diaz can give him that type of fight. It's going to take a very special fighter to make.
But that is my point. That is the point that I am trying to make. Only guys like you thought Felix would give him this special fight.
I thought you give him a competitive fight.
But we knew that he wouldn't. Hipsters were the one that were on this hardcore hype train. You know, the best thing that came out of this is he realized there's nothing else for him here. If he cannot get Indongo, it's Pacquiao. And what I am calling it the most dangerous fight he could have asked for, and the one that I think he should receive the most credit if he takes. Because beating Pacquiao at this stage, I don't know what that means universally. On this show, will the intelligent listeners and callers give him the utmost respect? Probably. Would the majority of trolls say that Pacquiao was old or not the same? Maybe. Could they spin a negative over a win over Keith? Call him 2 times because of the 2 belts? Thurman? No, I don't think you could spin anything negative. If Crawford moves up and fights Keith Thurman and beats him, there's nothing negative to say. But if Crawford moves up and fights Manny Pacquiao, you will find haters in the message boards, in the forums, even reporters asking him, hey, do you think this is the same version that fought Manny Pacquiao, that fought Floyd, or that fought Marquez? You know, I'm just saying what people are afraid to say. But we all know this is what's going to happen.
Yes, you are right. Unfortunately, there are fans that will say that Manny Pacquiao is old, even if guys like Keith Thurman fought him, because Keith Thurman called out Manny Pacquiao recently before this Terence Crawford fight. If Keith Thurman had fought Pacquiao later this year and knocked him out, you would have had fans saying, well, Manny Pacquiao is old, it doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. We're going to get that. And I think with Pacquiao's stardom, whenever he does lose again, we're going to get the statement of, he's old, he's past his prime, unfortunately. And I think even we may be guilty of that when the time comes, depending on how he looks. He may look just old. And we may have to say that was a faded version of Pacquiao, and that just may be a reality. But Pacquiao's legacy, that stardom, that means more to me than the respect he would get from a Keith Thurman win. Because Pacquiao's the last star of that division. He really is. And if any of these guys want to be the next star of boxing, to be at even close to the level of a Anthony Joshua and Canelo, to be even remotely close to them, they have to beat a star like Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman has to beat him, or Terence Crawford have to beat him. One of these guys has to beat Manny Pacquiao to become a star. Whoever it is, I don't care at this point, as long as one of those guys do it. Whether it be
you're on the record as the other co-hosts of the show saying that you prefer Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford over Manny Pacquiao over Terence Crawford versus Terence Crawford over Crawford versus Thurman.
If those are my 2 options, yes. Right now, I'd rather have Crawford fight Pacquiao.
All right.
That is better for the sport to me.
See, guys, he went the money route. He couldn't just let it go. He had to fucking throw it out there. Oh, better for the sport, which means what? Popularity, ratings, money, purses.
It just means a progression of the sport. Now, I'll put it this way. If I rather have to see Crawford Pacquiao or Thurman Pacquiao, hold on.
Wait. You mean progression of the sport because it would be the passing of the torch if he could beat the legend.
Yes. Now, very quickly, I'd rather say Thurman versus Pacquiao than Crawford versus Pacquiao. I'll be honest. I'd rather see Thurman get that shot because
but that's not the option, because we all know that Crawford and no, I'm not. You're laughing, but I'm being realistic. And realistically, Crawford and Pacquiao are signed to the same promoter, which is top ranked Bob Arum, and Thurman is on the outside of that. So he's
why are we talking about Crawford Thurman then? It's the same exact thing.
No, it's not.
One side Arum, one side PBC / Al Heyman. Come on.
I'm gonna explain to you the difference. The difference there is Thurman is calling out Pacquiao, which Bob can easily ignore. Now, Crawford is calling out Thurman. So Crawford is being a boss on his own and saying, this is the fight I want. His next duty is to make sure that happens, that an offer is made to Thurman. So it's different there. It's totally different. You have to understand that.
No, I know. I see your line of thinking there. If I'm going on the record, I'd rather see Crawford versus Pacquiao right now than Crawford versus Thurman. Those are my two options. Yeah, I'll be honest.
And I'll go on the record and say I understand that the Crawford Pacquiao is the easier fight to make because it is in-house.
And it has been building for a bit. These guys have been in the headlines together for, a year and a half now? I mean, HBO, Bob Arum, even though they have not really been pushing this fight, it has really been in the news. I mean, people have been talking about it in the media for a long time.
There has been some headlines about it. But I think I said my piece in terms giving my reasons as to why Crawford should think before taking this fight. Now, obviously, it's going to come with a lucrative offer, so you're going to have to, I watched an interview with Adrian Broner yesterday where he said, look, if they're offering me the same amount of money for 3 guys, hell yeah, I'm going to take my sparring partner. So, you tell me. This is the way that it works. The dollar moves the needle around here. Speaking of dollars, Money May, his new protege, Gervonta Tank Davis, made Matthew the Hipster Hunter a believer. He's running around now. He's got his new Gervonta Davis Tank tattoo on his arm, and he believes that the young Tank could be a star. Were you impressed with the performance with Liam Smith? I'll tell you, yes.
You called Liam Smith so many times.
I called him Liam Smith on the media reaction, and obviously my thoughts on this. But I'll say again, I'll just reiterate that it was a bit slow until the overhand left, So I wonder when guys get a bit more difficult to, I guess, engage, right? When you get a runner or a mover, how will the fight look? But he is a finisher. And he seeks blood. I love it. He's very aggressive, and obviously that makes good television. I was impressed. He's doing good numbers. 130. There was a scare. Was only 2 ounces. Maybe half of an underwear. Does he stick around? What does he do? I mean, give me your thoughts.
I think Tank Davis could be a star right now in a sense of within the sport. He's definitely not on stardom of like Canelo, Anthony Joshua, but I mean, within the sport of boxing, everyone knows him right now. Everyone's talking about him. And yeah, you said the fight was a little bit slow, but when you put somebody out within 3 rounds, it doesn't matter what the first 2 rounds look like because of how quick the finish is. I think Gervonta Davis, and I said it on the media reaction show, he could fight any of these top guys, all these other champions at 130, and potentially beat him. I'm not saying I'm favoring him against guys like Lomachenko, Berchelt, or Jezreel Corrales, but he could give every one of those guys their toughest fight right now. And I think that he should stay at 130. I know there's been some talks about, from the fans at least, and from our listeners, saying that he should move up to 135. Those are bigger fights. But I think he's just too small in stature for that division right now. And plus, you have guys like Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter Jr. Those fights are just way too tough, in my opinion, for a guy like Gervonta Davis right now. I think it was Nelta who called in. He mentioned, obviously, guys like Tevin Farmer and Javier Fortuna for him next. I say give him one of those guys on a PBC or Showtime headline, and you give him some exposure. He was the first fight on a card with Rances Bartholomew, Andre Dirrell, and those 2 fights alone probably killed the audience rate for that entire card. So I think he needs to be on a main event status somewhere, hopefully in his hometown of Baltimore, because he could be a star. He is that good. He is that technically skilled. He's a mini Roy Jones Jr. He just, for all the boxes he checks off, I think he could be one of the next big things in the sport.
Well, we'll definitely have to wait around and see. I wonder if the fans of the sport and the listeners of the show would agree with you, one, on the Roy Jones thing, and two, on whether or not he should fight a Tevin Farmer, Javier Fortuna type fighter. Since we get so many people that criticize young champions for developing during the, ownership of that title, we're going to go ahead and get to another young champion. Is he still young? How old is Mr. Gary Russell, as he likes to be called?
I have no idea how old he is. Want me to look that up?
Yeah, while you do that, I'll go ahead and get into what was an entertaining fight. Gary Russell did not use the ring in the manner in which we would have expected. I'm not going to say that we're used to, but a manner in which we would have expected. You expect this guy to get on his toes, use the jab, and his speed, but he kind of stood in the pocket the whole night. He's definitely was looking for the knockout. It produced an exciting fight because he gave opportunities for Oscar Escandon, and Oscar took them for sure. He was digging to the body. He was doing well. He slowed Russell down throughout this fight in some spots, but ultimately, I mean, the speed and accuracy of Russell. But Matt, obviously you got to be impressed with what he's able to do, the way that he's able to do it. But I wonder, I mean, I'm no trainer, but I wonder if maybe he decided to throw less punches. Would he be more efficient? Because I think
I wasn't impressed by Gary Russell Jr. at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oscar Escandon got robbed in that fight because the ref called it off of one knockdown. And the guy took a knee. It wasn't like he was knocked down, hurt. He took a knee.
I don't know if you could use the word robbed.
He was robbed of potentially finishing that fight. And let's be honest, he was putting in
a lot of bad stoppage yesterday, but I mean, to say robbery, I mean,
it was a robbery by the ref. Yeah, it was. That was some bullshit by that ref. I forget who it was, but that was unacceptable. For that type of fight, they were both going toe-to-toe for, I think it was like 6 or 7 rounds. And then for the first knockdown to happen, and the knockdown be really a guy taking a knee, for you to wave off the fight without counting down, giving him a
he
look
didn't
at
take
all.
a knee, bro. He fell into the ropes. And he sat on that bottom rope.
Look at that fight again. He was going for a knee and got hit on the way down.
I seen his ass.
Oscar Escandon even was like, "What are you talking about?" He did not like that stoppage. I didn't like it either. I thought that was bullshit. I thought he was winning rounds in there too. Oscar Escandon was giving him a hell of a fight. Gary Russell did not use a game plan at all. He didn't stick to a jab. He didn't stick on the outside. He allowed himself to fight the fight that Oscar Escandon wanted. That to me is an issue. Maybe you can do it with a guy like Oscar Escandon, but you cannot do that against other guys.
Well, I mean, I think that maybe you're interpreting it wrong. Maybe he felt like he can do that because it was Oscar Escandon.
If he felt he can do that, then he was wrong because he was getting punched throughout the entire time. He was getting beat up to the body.
Control, in my opinion. And we'll see what the other callers think. But, I mean, he landed the majority of the punches. I wish I had the punch stats. I do have the punch stats for the Crawford fight.
He landed the better shots throughout, of course. But he was definitely getting touched up throughout the fight and in every round.
I mean, again, we watched the fight together, bro. You wasn't talking like this during the live fight. Oscar Escandon wasn't doing as much.
I did mention that Oscar Escandon was touching him up and hitting from the body. I mentioned that, and I even mentioned that was a bullshit stoppage on the live.
Once in a blue, he was landing a few shots here and there, but it wasn't nothing big.
Okay,
I'm just saying it wasn't. Well, here go the punch stats for Crawford. I do want to show those because, geez, I mean, when you say a masterful performance, you got to show the numbers as to why. Punches landed for Felix Diaz only 69. his connect
less than
percentage.
20%. Less than 20%.
Yeah, it was 19.9 was his connect percentage. You know, I mean, this guy threw 520 and he landed 193, 37.1% on his connect, Terence Crawford. So, yeah.
And very quickly, back to Gary Russell. I think Gary Russell is one of the top guys in the division.
Do you really?
I do. I just was not impressed by this performance. I think if he stuck to a game plan and boxed, he would have done a lot better job, and I would have been much more impressed. But I want him to fight more. Fighting one time a year is unacceptable. I'm sorry. He's 28 years old. To answer your question from earlier, he's 28. This is the prime of his career right now. He needs to capitalize it to the fullest. He needs to start making fights. I know he said he could knock out Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton in one night. He's talked about moving up and fighting Lomachenko again. Take a big fight. Take a big fight.
Be clear. He said he's going to make the Lomachenko fight the last fight of his career.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
he wants to move up and fight the WBC champ at 130 at some point. And right now, that's Miguel Purcell.
He said if he can't get the unification in this division, he's absolutely moving up. So who's in his division right now? He's at 26, not 30.
I know.
So who's even at his division?
Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, Jesus Celiar.
Are you just guessing or are you looking?
No, those are the guys in his division.
Be sure. Because those weight divisions, they're like right there within each other.
I'm not casual like you, Ness.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, these are my divisions. You know that.
Really? Are they really?
Just like you love all the light heavyweights and heavyweights. You know, the featherweights are my shit.
Oh, yeah? So who's got the belts? Is it Abner and Leo? Or is it, Abner and Leo because Frampton lost it, right?
Yes.
So will those guys see? That's the thing. Why would those guys take the fight? It's the same thing with Pacquiao and Crawford and Thurman. Like, why fight Thurman when you could fight Pacquiao? Why fight Gary Russell when you could fight Abner Mares in a rematch if you're Leo Santa Cruz? And if you're Abner Mares, why fight Gary Russell when you can fucking fight Carl Frampton and get more money? This is what I'm saying. So.
From the rumors, it sounds like Leo Santa Cruz wants to fight Abner Mares in a rematch in LA. That's all what the rumor mill has been saying. So I assume that Carl Frampton being the odd man out and having that Irish UK market sort of, down when it comes to the lower weight classes, I say Gary Russell goes to Belfast and fight Carl Frampton there. I think Gary Russell could beat Carl Frampton.
Maybe you're right, but the thing about him going to Belfast, I don't see that happening.
The money, just like Gervonta Davis went over there.
Yeah, I know, but just two different guys, bro. Two different guys. Look at those two. Look at their careers.
Am I saying that's likely? No, I'm saying that's what he should do.
Look at what Gervonta forced his promoter to do. He took to Twitter and said he was unsatisfied. Let's not forget that. We keep acting like Floyd's this awesome promoter, but I mean, Gervonta was mad at him for some reason. He went to Twitter and said he wasn't getting the fights he was getting, and then all of a sudden he was thrust in that title shot. And I think it was like, all right, this is what you want to do. You want to talk shit on social media? Well, here it is, sink or swim. And guess what? He fucking swam like a shark. And now they backing him. So, it's got to be like that for everybody. But Gary Russell, I mean, again, he said he would stick around for a unification. But Benavidez, David Benavidez, making up for that name because people were sour on Jose Benavidez. That's right.
He put in one of the fights of the night.
But Jose Benavidez Jr., ever since that Mauricio Herrera fight, people had kind of been sour, and we haven't even heard anything from him anymore. Like, where is he? He even had a WBO interim belt, and he's just been off the scene. So David, his brother, definitely coming in and stepping up to the plate. I mean, really good performance. You know what I will say is that he fights very tall. I wonder.
He sort of has to because he's so tall for the division.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Porky Medina looks pretty big against guys like James DeGale at 168, and David Benavidez looked and towered over Porky Medina.
Yes, he looked huge. But I mean, it was opening him up for shots. Whenever Porky was going a straight right hand to the body, it was easy for him to land it. Like obviously, Medina couldn't get around the corners with those long arms of David Benavidez and that high guard that he uses. But at times I thought that he was tired because he was laying on the ropes. And then quickly I realized, no, he was just baiting this guy in. He wanted to fucking land huge left hooks. This guy is so fast at that weight. It's insane. I watched him land like 3 and 4 left hooks at a time on Porky now.
And that finishing combination was like a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Out of a video game finish. Like
it was
like a 7-punch combination in the span of a second.
Yeah, it was insane. It was so many. I mean, he hit him with hooks and uppercuts all at once. I mean,
he could be the best guy in the division. He could beat James DeGale and the George Groves Fedor Chirunov winner. He could beat Gilberto Ramirez.
Yeah, because of that jab too. I mean, it's not like he's just this Mexican brawler. No, this guy has a fucking thudding, log tong saber of a jab. I'm interested, brother. I'm interested. Now, who is he supposed to get this title shot versus? Like, I mean, this was an eliminator for who exactly? The winner of Anthony Dirrell and who? Is it like that?
Yeah, I believe so.
This was like a WBC eliminator, right? So like
WBC, then it's definitely the Callum Smith, Anthony Dirrell winner who are fighting in LA July 15th for the WBC super middleweight belt because Dr. Jack vacated and moved up.
I wonder if we're right about that. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing some more David Benavidez, especially on this level with these types of names that we're familiar with, that we could use as barometers that we've seen in the ring with other people in or around that skill level. Speaking of skill level, let's jump out to the UK. Wow, we have grown here. We have evolved, you listeners out there.
Wait, Ness is talking about the UK, guys. Every UK listener right now that has stood on Ness for years and years, he is willingly talking about the UK.
No, actually, it's fitting. It's fitting because we have a awesome 5-star review on iTunes from one of our UK listeners, Age Atomic. I believe he's even a Patreon. And the title is Euro Bums. 5-star review. Now listen to the review, okay? I'm a long-time listener of the Boxing Voice, must be 3 or 4 years now. I'm based in the UK and I have been listening since the Eurobum days. I've listened to other big boxing podcasts, but they tend to have ties to TV networks who use their TV presenters to present. These networks also often have ties with particular boxing promoters. What you get with TBV is different. These are real guys with real opinions about what is happening in the sport. Sometimes these guys are on point. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they just shout over each other, but they're always genuine. TBV is not restricted by politics that surround these other big podcasts. These are real opinions from guys who are genuinely passionate about the sport. One day I'll call in. And it's funny that it's titled Eurobum because obviously in the very beginning, UK boxing scene wasn't really booming, and now it is. And, I always had that motto. I'll watch him when I have to watch him. But Yardy is a guy, and I want to call him Yardy, and I'm going to know because everybody's going to say, hey, Ness, his name is Yard. I know. I listened to the...
We don't care. His name's better as Yarde. Come on.
I know. I listened to the commentators pronounce his name, and it kept saying Anthony Yard, and I'm like, damn. So the E is silent, and all this time we've been saying Yardy, and it kind of sounds better. But I've been interested in Anthony because he's heavy into the calisthenics scene, which is something that I like to indulge in. I mean, this dude is doing human flags. He can do massive amounts of muscle ups, which are way more difficult than a normal pull-up. And he's got like the pectorials of a young Schwarzenegger, right? So I said, all right, we're going to check this guy box. Now, he's young into his career. You know, he's only got a couple of fights. But he just won some sort of title. He looked good versus some sort of guy that I couldn't even begin to tell you how good he is, Chris Hobbs or something like that. And I couldn't really assess the performance because I think he understood what he was in there with and that he could not be hurt. So he was just really doing whatever he wanted. And I guess to paint the perfect picture, whatever he wanted always looked good because he's built like he belongs in the ring and he fights like that. He definitely has power. He digs to the body too. He stays disciplined throughout the duration of the fight, digging to that body, especially with the left. I mean, I like what I see. It's the 175-pound division, which is insane because he looks like a heavyweight.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see him actually in with guys that we know in that 175-pound division, like maybe like a Shabaransky, since he lost to Barrera. Don't really throw him in there with Barrera. Plus, Barrera already got a fight with somebody. So, give him like a Shabaransky or Uneski Gonzalez, right? Uneski's just almost, and no disrespect to Uneski. Huh? Pascal, but I don't know if Pascal will take that, even though Pascal should, because it would be big money. It would be a UK thing. Pascal kind of has a market. Listen, I don't doubt that Yard could be something. He's definitely looking the part. What were your thoughts on that fight?
Very similar to you. I thought that he realized he really couldn't get the guy out of there that well, so he just decided to do his thing. And I thought he did better actually doing that. Just he had a better flow about him. He wasn't trying to pressure and force the knockout. I think Yardy is a great prospect. I really don't know what to think of him right now, because I don't think he is going to stay at light heavyweight. I think he's just too big for that division personally. I think we're eventually going to see him at cruiserweight in his prime. So I really just want to wait and see with him. Same with Daniel Dubois, who was a heavyweight prospect. He looked awesome as well, knocked out his opponent. He's another guy where I'm just sort of a wait and see. I don't know really where these guys are at. They look the part. They look like a creative fighter at an EA fight night. Like they look like a guy that we all want to be, that Anthony Joshua physiques and stuff like that. So I don't know if they're real or not yet. And I don't know if I can fully be invested in them as prospects just at this moment. But they look the part. They passed the eye test at their respective stages. 100%.
Nah, man. I'm gonna say we got to come up with a system. I listened to this podcast back in the day, and it was called Podcast Leftovers, right? And they had a rating system, right? So if you like the movie, you would recommend it and Tupperware it, right? Because anytime food is good, put in a Tupperware and you can reheat it. It's been a while since I listened, so I don't know what the other ratings were. But the point is we need a rating system on whether or not our listeners should invest, because ultimately that's what this is.
Like what their stock prices are or something like that.
No. Not necessarily invest funds or stock. What I mean is invest their time.
Yeah, but time and money are the same thing.
No. My listeners' time is valuable. And I should be the guardian of the galaxy and defender, just getting all these bums out the way. It's like, no, don't waste your time watching this bum. Pew, and I that's my saber right there. That was a fucking sound effect. Pew, hitting bums out the way so that my listeners ain't got to waste their time. But Triple D, Daniel, Dynamite, Dubois. No. That's somebody you want to pay attention to right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right now. No, because you said he looks the part and he passes the eye test, but you don't know yet and you have to wait. I don't think we should wait. I think we should follow his career from the beginning. He can be chinny because I went back and watched the fight outside of yesterday's. And his second fight, he got hit by a cruiserweight who they ballooned up to fight at heavyweight. And he hurt him a little bit. He made Dubois' leg kind of buckle and he had to, hold. And that's
We've
okay.
seen Wilder get hurt in the amateurs. We've seen Anthony Joshua get hurt. We've seen tons of guys get hurt. Like that's not really an indictment on them as a fighter. And when I said like I'm waiting to see, it's about me saying,
but
are they the next guy?
You're assuming that that's where I'm going. I'm not saying that he's chinny. I'm saying I'm going to continue to watch him. I went back and watched the fight. I seen that he got hit by a cruiserweight, and that happened. But what I seen in his fight last night, he's amazing. At this stage, I'm very impressed at the speed. Did you notice the speed at which those punches were thrown? I mean, it was only one. He threw 3, but the first one knocked the dude out. He's so fast, the other 2 looked like they hit him, and you had to watch the replay, but he's just so tall and straight with his punches and very fucking big. I mean, the other guy was big, and he didn't even look it. I mean, this kid Dubois, he really, and let me tell you, I mean, immediately after watching the knockout, so this is how I watched it, because it wasn't like I was hating on the kid. I watched the fight yesterday, and I'm like, wow, that was pretty good. And this is why, all right? Because people might go back and watch the fight and say, oh, Ness, but that wasn't that impressive. Yo, he's only 19. He's fucking 19, and he looks like he's 35, and not in a bad way. It doesn't look like he's 35 old. It's just the maturity, even in the ring. Like when he does an interview, because I've even went and stalked some interviews now. I'm interested like a motherfucker, right? So his face, you can see that he's a teenager when he's doing an interview, but when he's in the ring, it's a mean face. And he's got that bald head, and he looks like a fighter would look in the 50s, right? Like when you Google 1950s boxer, that's what he looks like, right? The very dark black man, bald head, big as fuck. I mean, he's big, bro. Like we think Joshua's big. He's big. Speaking of Joshua, again, I was interested. I stumbled across an interview with Dubois. He knocked down Joshua in sparring. Now, Matthew wants to argue with me that this is a rumor. See, I don't necessarily call rumors when you got one guy saying what he did. It's Joshua's duty to say Dubois is lying. Until he stops that, he is accepting what is being said because he knows it as truth. And why would a 19-year-old boy, who I can't call boy because he would kick my ass for sure, and he's way bigger than me, why would he lie about that? He wouldn't lie. It's what happened. And he said it in a manner where it was like, yo, we go at it. And as hard as he hit me, I hit him. But yeah, that is what happened. He went down. So I'm like, wow, now I'm really invested. So back to the original thing about this, we need a system. And I'm saying whatever that system is, maybe our listeners can come up with it. And it's like a phrase, is some sort of phrase where we're like, yo, Matt, you definitely need to check this guy out. Boop, cue in the phrase, let the listeners come up with it. But Dubois is someone to look at. Triple D is his name. Dynamite because of what he got in those hands. Google him for sure. Who else could we bring up that impressed yesterday?
Oh, I can bring it.
We got to bring up the fucking, this did not impress. All right. I mean, do you want to bring up something? Because I'm already, I can feel the blood boiling. I don't care if they do me like the Charlos did and catch me in one of the lobbies. I'm going to fucking rip some asses today on this show. But you got anything you want to talk about?
I mean, I'll go after you because you seem heated. I want to see this.
I just don't understand what the fuck happened in the Dirrell fight.
Oh, okay. Yes. I got plenty of things to talk about with this topic.
The Dirrell fight, where the fuck did that belt come from? IBF, for so long, you've heard me here kind of big up the IBF because they're one of the main.
A lot of fans do. And media. A lot of people in the media and the fandom big up the IBF because of them being strict with their mandatories.
Absolutely. And that is what I applaud them for. So for that very same reason, they will receive applause. But we have to be fair in being critical and giving out accolades. What they're doing with this interim title is wrong. First of all, we got the WBA already trying to quote unquote, and I'm using air quotes because we know they didn't abolish shit. They said they would abolish their titles, and they're fucking not. Everyone is getting an interim shot. You know, here is Shannon Briggs. He just popped, for those that don't know, and pop means he's pissing hot. And we got to find out if it's true or not. But thus far, the fight may be canceled. They should just abolish that title right then and there. Getting back to the IBF, granting the winner of, let's just go with Jose and Dirrell, so I don't keep botching the Uzcategui. You know, granting the winner out of that fight a title, an interim title,
fake title,
an interim title to James DeGale. Like, why can't they just fucking say the winner of this fight is gonna get a shot at James DeGale? Why does someone got to pay a fee to wear a title that didn't exist a fight ago, man? Like, interim from IBF, we never seen that. We seen interim WBCs. I don't remember an interim IBF champion, and if I did, that is, I mean, I just don't remember him. Who's been the interim to Gennadi's IBF? Like, I never heard of that. Who's the interim to fucking Kelbrook's IBF? I never heard of this. This is bull shit, right? So on top of this, Jose is winning the fight.
He won the fight. No, correction. He actually won that fight.
He's winning the fight in real time. You know what I'm saying? And the strangest thing happens. For a second time in Andre Dirrell's career, he gets hit after the bell and gets knocked out. Now, I will be the first to admit, the first time it happened to him with Arthur Abraham, I said, you know, he probably stretched it a little bit. There was probably a little bit of theatrics there, I said. And then I started to damn myself when I found out that he was, you know, hurt and had brain bleed and he had to go to this doctor and all that, right? Mm-hmm. Even though there's people that question that story. But now we're in this situation again. And this time, I don't think anyone can question it. Those two punches landed. His face went straight into that canvas. That is what stopped his body. The canvas, the face. It was like a fucking dive into the pool with no water. But then he woke up and they asked him, could he continue? I'm not a fighter. He did the right thing by not continuing because you're coming back.
He would be in that fight. He was knocked out.
Yeah, he was knocked out, and then you would be coming back disoriented, at a disadvantage already.
And you could hurt yourself more.
But for Jose to lose that fight, because that particular shot, I mean, how much after the bell was it? And wasn't
it's not even about that. Hold on, very quickly.
No, wasn't it? But he still was in the fucking flow with it. You know, like we've seen.
The round is not over when the bell rings. It's over when the ref separates the fighters.
Well,
that's when the round is technically over.
Can you screen share those Queensberry rules that you're getting this from? Because that's how we like to work, right? I mean, where you're getting this information from? Play the soundbite on himself, guys.
Am I wrong though?
I don't know. You show us that you're not wrong. But
that's my point. That the round was not over when the ref was 30 yards away, taking a sip of water, doing his own shit, and not reffing the fight. Was basically what he was doing. So the ref fucked up. The ref was the one that was late, not Jose Uzcategui. He was not late with the shots. And any fighter or anyone that's ever fought before knows that it is damn hard to hear that bell. Every time. It is very hard to hear that bell. There's a reason why we had situations like Timothy Bradley, Jesse Vargas, where the ref even fucked up and misheard the bell. The ref can fuck up. That happens. So it's on the ref's duty and his job to separate those fighters at the instant of that bell. And when he does not do that, it is his mistake. So I do not blame Jose Uzcategui. That should have been a TKO win for him, in my opinion. Those shots were legal in my mind. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And when Clarissa Shields gets on Twitter and Instagram and starts saying that what Andre Dirrell's uncle did after the fight is equal to what Jose Uzcategui did, that's a fucking mistake.
Oh,
that's
wow.
Wrong.
She said that?
Yes.
Wow. And you know what the thing is, Matt? If you notice all the fighters, because Gary Russell in his post-fight interview also gave like, hey, I apologize for what Dirrell family and his uncle did, but we're warriors. Like you got to understand, and they want us to understand, right? And I want to understand. I really do. But it would be different if it was Andre Dirrell that threw the cheap shot, that threw the sucker punch. It would be different if it was the fighter that actually received the shots and should be upset was the one that retaliated. But when the cornerman does it and does it in that fashion, at least in the Juan Manuel Lopez fight, at least he went straight at him. This was a sucker punch. You set him up. You hit him from the side like he didn't even know.
He went up there to pretend to talk, and then he sucker punched him. That guy should be, or whatever the justice system is, whatever it says, he should get that penalty.
All right, and listen, and that's just there, right? Like, okay, you did that. It's the heat of the moment. Fuck it. Let's go ahead and be just like Clarissa Shields and say that we understand and that it equates what Jose did. Let's go ahead and understand what Gary Russell said and say, hey, they're warriors, right? But why the fuck do you do that on camera? On camera? That has to be the stupidest thing you could ever do. How is he going to get a job off of that? I don't know.
He will never be licensed again as a cornerman, at least in that state.
I mean, listen, I understand how anger works. Anger is difficult. It's a difficult emotion to get a grasp on, but we just discussed this with another fighter. Wasn't there another? Yes, Deontay Wilder and his entourage. You know, people didn't like what took place. Entourages are getting people in trouble. This is something that has been going on for years. These fighters, celebrities in general, need to smarten up. I understand the train of thought of building from within, because essentially that's what they're doing, Matt. It's like, I'm a fighter now. My cornerman is my uncle. My trainer is my grandfather. My brother is I get it. Keep the money in house. But there has to be some sort of fucking rules instilled. We can't go around acting like animals on camera and then cover it in emotions, because, you know, he could have seriously hurt him. He hit him without gloves, and he was not prepared for that. And Rances Bartholomew knocked somebody out after the bell. Like, these things happen. Like, he assaulted Jose as if Jose did something out of the normal. It was punches being thrown in the heat of a fight. Like, I could understand. And you know what? We also got to talk about the fact that Jose did hit him more than once after the fucking bell. So again, you know, there is going to be a percentage of the demographic that believes that this man was justified in doing what he did. But you obviously know that, I mean, there's law. There's the laws of man, right? Like, there's laws. There's laws. So you can punch somebody.
I told Clarissa Shields this.
Oh my God, you tweeted her. This guy is such a fucking.
I don't care, man. I don't give a fuck. There's a difference between a foul and something that's illegal. What the cornerman did was illegal in the eyes of the law. What Jose Uzcategui did was a foul under the sporting.
Absolutely.
Like, to compare those two is a fundamental mistake of logic on the side of Clarissa Shields to anyone that defends this instance. And you know what? I do not blame Andre Dirrell for defending it. He was just knocked out. He probably has no idea what happened. He was on the other side of the ring when that incident occurred. So he may not have seen what happened. And I know you said it was shown on the screen and everything like that. But again, he was just knocked out. I do not assume for him to be in all cylinders firing mentally at that point. He was just knocked unconscious. So I don't care what I really don't. I don't fault him for that.
But Gary Russell also acted out because Anthony Dirrell tried to rush the ring.
Yeah, Anthony should get.
And he's on camera pushing an official.
He full on pushed an official, if not maybe punched him. I have to review it. I don't remember what it was specifically. But the commission,
they don't understand. That's a lawsuit.
Whenever local law enforcement should look into those two and figure it out.
No, listen, they already said on the telecast that they were looking for the brother to arrest him and that they were going to question Anthony Dirrell. But Dirrell doesn't understand, and I mean Anthony. At the very least, Matt, it can be a civil suit. You are a target now. You're on television. You're a celebrity. Your purses 90% of the time, or people can find them. You don't think that this guy from the commission, you don't think his wife is telling him, babe, you better say that you're going to sue, or your back hurts because you got pushed into the ring like that.
Very quickly, Alex, Doomsday, stop being in the chat defending this shit. Stop defending illegal actions.
No, what's
there's no need for defending
stuff, Matt.
There's no need.
So yeah, man, we got to, understand that. But listen, let's go ahead and do we have any other topics that you want to address outside of the Jose stuff? Because if not, we can
definitely. But very quickly, yeah, there was tons of Japanese fights.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to the fucking Maroda fight.
We didn't get to Maroda. We didn't get to Tanaka Acosta. That was probably one of the best fights of the weekend. Kenshiro won. There was a bunch of fights that happened. Diaga Higo. There was at least, I think, 3 new champions within boxing that happened last night. Last night. So there's tons of fights to get into. I really don't have much to address. I didn't score every fight. I didn't watch every fight in its entirety. But go watch for sure the Tanaka and Angel Acosta fight. That fight was just a fantastic fight between 2 undefeated fighters. That's like James Zigo versus George Grove.
That fight, it was on that app, that fight app. Bro, those dudes weigh 107 pounds, man.
Okay.
They barely got to the 3rd rope. Forget the top rope.
Okay. That was the first time ever going to a decision. Each guy had 100% knockout rate. And they both threw heavy leather for 12 rounds.
I mean, let me tell you something. At 107 pounds, your competition is like 8-year-olds.
Okay. I mean, you can be disrespectful to these great fighters. That's fine. I know you've come a long way with the whole Eurobum thing, and one day you're gonna come a long way to these smaller weight class guys. It's going to be a process for you, Ness. It's okay. But that was one of the best fights of the weekend. That was arguably better than David Benavidez versus Porky and Medina. There's a ton of fights. I mean, they're all on YouTube. If you guys don't know where to look, hit me up on Twitter, Mixed Combat News. I got links. So just hit me up.
Yeah, man. I did watch a few seconds, but it wasn't my thing. And then Tito had this weird half mohawk. It was like a half back mohawk.
No, it was like a half mullet, half mohawk. Like it was some.
No, because the mullet is from the front, right? So, but like he only had like the half back middle mohawk. I mean, come on, man. You got me out here watching weirdos. Look, we're gonna get out to the callers, man. You know the number 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 just one time if you want to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Hey, you international callers, you can call us up absolutely free as well just by adding Nestor Gibbs. That's NESTORGIBBS. We're going to get out to our sponsors and then to our first caller.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to TBV's favorite rock star, Robert Ortiz, on Skype.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Wow, Ness, just to start off, though, Jesus, the level of disrespect, man. And I'm sitting here listening to the entire show so far thinking, man, Nestor Gibbs has come a long way. He's a lot more articulate, and he's, like, a lot more fair in his and everything. And you're kind of, how should I say, you're more objective, You don't do the Eurobum thing anymore. And it's awesome, but to make fun of the flyweight guys and the like, that's insane, because by that standard, then no division matters outside of heavyweight. because ain't no fucking 130-pound fighter gonna kick my ass. It's just not gonna happen. I don't care how long they've been training. No one that's 130 pounds can beat me. And
130 pounds can beat you.
No, they definitely can't hurt me. I assure you of that. There's no way. That's just ridiculous. But you're able to talk about them, but not the 107-pound guys. That's just asinine to me, man. There's some great warriors, and they throw a lot of leather too. There's some great action fights there too, man. But with that aside, I mean, I like to get into the debate of right what you were talking about right before that, which is the what's it called, Dirrell. Like, geez, man, fuck, that guy has the worst luck in the world. Maybe that's why his uncle lost his mind, you know. And I'm not gonna excuse or who was it? His brother, his uncle? Who was it?
His uncle.
His uncle, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say allegedly. We saw him do it, but what I'm saying is, like, I just being around more fighters and seeing the type of work that goes into it and the level of sheer violence and the impact it actually has on one's body, like, it's insane. You really don't play boxing, man, and fouls in boxing are a lot different than a foul in basketball. It's just like, fuck, man. Like, for that to happen, to see it go down like that, think about all the years, especially for Andre Dirrell, who had that happen before. It's like he's making his comeback. He's really trying, and some illegal shit like that happens. But at the same time, it was a mistake. I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge, man. If it was one punch, but it was a whole combo, dude, and fuck, it's
forget a whole combo, Matt. I mean, if it wasn't for Jose's corner throwing his hands in between the punches after the first two landed, the other three would have landed. I mean, he was trying to just stay there and fight. You probably got the short version of the clip, but there's a long version, bro. He threw multiple punches.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was pretty bad, I guess, man. And not only that, but then, like, the first thing the ref tells you is protect yourself at all times. So it's kind of like,
dude, the fight was over, man. The fight was over. Dirrell got knocked out. The doctors had to, see him. Everybody was in the ring. Uzcategui was in his corner. Come on, no, you can't defend it. People that defend
I'm not talking
weird.
about the uncle at this point. I'm talking about the actual infraction that happened, not the straight up assault, because that's what it was. But the actual in the heat of the moment boxing match that went wrong. What I'm saying is like, you can defend it slightly in the heat of the moment. Andre Dirrell, you gotta protect yourself at all times, But I'm never gonna excuse actions like that, man. Where like bad doesn't solve bad. You don't solve evil with evil. And if he felt that what the fighter did was evil, he shouldn't have attacked him with some more evil tactics by giving him that freaking sucker punch, dude. And he hit him good, man. He turned his punch over and everything. So, like, fuck, man. But that aside, dude, that's a hard call, man. That's a hard call. I understand
that two-piece landed on the chest, though.
Yeah, the second one, he moved out the way of the second one. But to the other stuff, man, the regular boxing, Terence Crawford, it's crazy, man, because I usually am in favor of a guy just owning a division and just staying there. But I think Triple G had far more names that we know of and fighters that we know than what Terence Crawford has at 140. If this was Crawford 5-6 years ago, it'd be beautiful. But right now he's just way above everyone else. But I don't know that he's ready for a guy like Keith Thurman. It's too hard to tell. He does make mistakes early on in the fight. He does get hit. And against guys like that, I don't know that he can make those mistakes and adjust, because he's going to get hurt. But he's boxing beautifully right now, and he is making those adjustments. I'd like to see him come up slowly at 147, because quite frankly, I just don't think he deserves a shot at someone like Keith Thurman at this moment. Pacquiao, because Pacquiao has fought, a lot smaller. We're not totally sure where he's at with his age, and the fact that he's beaten some great fighters over the last 2 years, but not elite level fighters. So it'll be interesting to see that. I think that's a great matchup, and it's natural because it's top rank, and I think it'll be big. Does Pacquiao take it? Doubt it. With Gervonta Davis, that was amazing. I think he's an awesome fighter and definitely one I'm going to watch. With that said, I'm out. Thank you, guys.
Well, Rob, thank you for calling in. We're going to go ahead and get on out to some more callers. We got some alumni on the line. Don't want to keep anybody waiting. Remember, if you're watching this in the present, future, past, hit that thumbs up button. Always helps with the visibility of the show. And dropping a 5-star review on iTunes never hurts.
No one can stop me, really.
Oh, there's a king croc right there. This croc has enough power in his jaws to rip my head right off. Unique in the 6th round.
You're going to be the legend to become a legend. Honestly, it's unbeatable. You're going to be the legend to become a legend.
Hey boys, look, I can't really talk. I'm at work, but great show, and no crow for me today. I'll talk to you soon. Sorry, boys.
All right, brother. All right, we're gonna go out to we got Scorsese in China.
Hey, Terence Crawford is a motherfucking problem. That's a gold medalist who done that too. That's a gold medalist. He swore he put booties on his eye. He left that boy with 2 elbows on his eye, made him go kiss his wife with that shit on his face, and then said in the ring, "That's just what I wanted to do." I said, "Shit, man, hey, Keith Thurman to get that ass whooped, Manny Pacquiao get that ass whooped. All they got is a puncher's chance. Period. He hitting a stride. The boy, all they got is a puncher's chance. He hit a stride. Terence Crawford land punches so much cleaner than Keith Thurman. Manny Pacquiao still come in with his head up. No, you will get fucked up. I thought Rances Bartholomew could have a shot. I don't know what the hell happened with Bartholomew yesterday. Fighting the inside fight, not jabbing. I thought the fight was close. The hell with those judges and that UD shit. That was a split decision, majority decision. I picked Relic on replay. I gave it to Rances, but Rances Bartholomew is regressing. He trying to just be a fighter. It's fun to watch, but bro, I get it. You think you're a Cuban fighter, so nobody gonna come watch you fight. And then you say, I'm gonna turn up the action. Well, guess what? They still ain't there. So go back to trying to fucking win, dude. Pop the jet. I don't know, bro. His ass about knocked out somewhere down the line. And that was for the real WBA title if you really watch boxing. So those are champions to me. And Dongo's still a champion himself. But Relic was the real WBA champion. I don't really know if that belt changed hands. Tank Davis, problem. That left hand, problem. I want to see Gary Russell go to 130 and fight Tank Davis. That's what I want. DC, and ain't they both from that area?
Yep.
Why the fuck not? Both Al Heyman, 2 black fighters, urban. Fuck it, do it. Go to Belfast. Forget all that. Take a star there. Bring out the whole DMV. Bring out Victor Oladipo. Bring out all the NBA players up out of there.
How you gonna do that when Gary Russell had empty seats in the house yesterday?
Yeah, Tank Davis don't though. Tank Davis don't. The second fight be bigger than the first fight. Be career opponents. Do some Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Marquez shit. That's why we don't got Pacquiaos no more. Nobody got career opponents no more. Nobody took none. That's why we don't have them no more. And what else we got? Dirrell, bless his heart. That was dirty as shit. I'm glad that the dude did it before. Nobody mentioned that he threw this damn punch before. And then after that, he started doing some bullshit after the bell that made him say, what is he doing again? And then he go throw another big punch. I get it, the referee wasn't there, but I heard the bell, he heard the bell, and that's why he didn't throw another shot after. He heard them bells. He went and clocked that man anyway.
When he was
it's difficult, Scorsese, to say that someone heard the bell in the heat of the moment, man. Come on, bro. That would be an unfair stance to take, because literally you wouldn't be able to know anyway. So let's go out to Giant Joe. What's up?
Yo, what's up, Ness?
What's going on?
Yeah, well, what a weekend. What a weekend of boxing. There's quite a lot for me to get through here. I want to touch on a few things, but let's start with the positive. Terence Crawford, man, this guy, the mastery, the cheek, sticking that chin out, sticking that tongue out, man, tapping Diaz on the head. You know, okay, the referee gave him a little bit of a talking to for that, but the confidence, just in control, and in his own words after the fight, I do what I want in there. Phenomenal. So yeah, touching on refereeing, I think what we saw at the weekend was a comparison between good refereeing by Steve Willis in the Crawford fight and not so good refereeing with Bill Clancy in the Dirrell fight. He should really have been a bit closer to be able to jump in to protect the fighters. That's the point. If your man's backed up in the corner and he knows the bell's about to go and he gave them a 5-second warning, bell's about to go, you put yourself between. You don't allow that man to come to harm. So I think there was a slip there with the referee. What happened afterwards, the as everybody's called it, the assault in the corner, they're unacceptable. Your corner has to be as professional as the fighter. If you're not professional, what are you doing in this business? You know, to accept that responsibility on behalf of your fighter. Just going through a few other things. I had Relic against Barthélemy. I just don't think Barthélemy was active enough. He just didn't seem to do much work. What else? Benavidez. That's how you finish. That's why you throw punches. Not a punch, you throw punches. Because punches in bunches give you that kind of finish. What else? Dubois. Well, interesting. Dubois. You said it yourself, Ness. I mean, the guy, he looks like something from another time. The way I feel about it, it's like I can see on the horizon the way they built up Anthony Joshua to be, or compared to Ali, coming in the white robe, you know, that kind of golden aura about him. I think Dubois might be his George Foreman. Do you know what I mean? He's got that power. I was thinking menace.
Maybe like he gives you that. Could he give you that Joe Louis look? No.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But the prospect is phenomenal. I mean, you know, the stature of the guy. There's a little bit of the baby face there, the same way there is with Davis. But there's no doubting the potential. Absolutely not. But yeah, a phenomenal weekend of boxing. This is why we love the sport. That's what you can get. Multiple cards and multiple performances.
Joe, excellent call. That is how you touch on all the topics right there, one by one. We're going out to New Jersey, going to keep these phone lines moving. Remember that number, 1-425-569-5241. And you know what? We're going to get this one right out the way. We're going to go ahead and get our last sponsor out the way.
Fight fans, don't leave the decision in the hands of the judges. Download the Throwdown scoring app and receive live scoring, CompuBox stats, boxing predictions from other users around the world. Head over to your iPhone App Store or your Google Play Store and download it absolutely free.
New Jersey, King Amin, talk to me.
Yo, what's good, fellas? Let me get my 3 minutes in. First off, let me get some crow. I picked against Beltran. Beltran had a nice little hook. You know what I mean? So let me get my crow. I'll take that in my 3 minutes or so. Yo, the whole layout of the evening, I'm going to talk about certain fights, but the whole layout of the evening, you know, I know, Ness, I know you don't watch football, but the layout was how, like, they do in the UK. Like, I felt like it was Sunday football, but it was Saturday boxing. And I think if some promoters, you know, can really set up cards like that and they can line it up with TV, if we can get decent fights in on a Saturday and just run them all night like that, I mean, I think we could get a lot of ground covered and shut down a lot of these bogus-ass belts and all these interim fuck-ass titles and all the nonsense that's going on. So that's one end. Crawford, I had him taking down Diaz in the 9th round, but he took him out in the 10th, you know, and I was in the chat. And I said that. I said, yo, he's going to get this guy out of here by the 9th. So I mean, masterful performance. I would love to see him in Thurman. I love to see him. You know, definitely he can make 147 if he's coming at 150 something. Really, that was the only. You know, Gervonta Davis, he did very good. I still want to see, you know, him, you know, move around a little bit. I think the fight with Gary Russell will be interesting. And that's about it, man. I think I got it all covered because I know my 3 minutes is up, fellas. So let's keep it moving.
All right, Amin. Well, thanks for calling in. We're going to go out to Atlanta, hot Atlanta out there, to the home of the milkman. He done told y'all before.
I told y'all a long time ago that Kirkland will go down 3 rounds.
Who's next? I got milk, baby.
Yo, TBV, what it is?
What's up, milkman? Did you enjoy yesterday's plethora of fights?
Yeah, man. You know, Tank out there in the UK doing his thing. I think if he stays on this path, man, he'll be another big name in boxing. I think Floyd is keeping him really close, you know, to his chest because I think he wants to make sure he doesn't pull the antics of Adrian Broner and you know get mixed up with the wrong shit. So. And you know, I think his work ethic is good from what I can see. So I hope he stays on track, man. I think he has a bright future. As far as Dirrell, man, you know, I mean, the shit was just weird, man. I mean, I felt like I was watching Arthur Abraham fight again. You know, it just got weird, man. I feel bad for the dude. You know, because I think he got derailed. No pun intended. After that Arthur Abraham fight, it never kind of, you know, really got going again. You know, the sucker punch, man. I ain't seen a sucker punch like that, man. Probably since. Oh man, probably.
Come on, man. Juan Manuel Marquez fight the other day, like a couple of months ago. Remember the other team's trainer punched him.
Yeah, I don't even think I saw that one, man. I was slipped through the cracks. I was thinking about the one from back in the day, man. James the Hammer Butler, when he knocked that dude out after the fight was over. He was about to shake his hand and he cold cocked him.
Oh, I see that.
James, yeah,
and with the dreads, right?
James the Hammer Butler,
the one with the dreads. He ended up killing his trainer.
No, he killed Max Kellerman's brother.
That's right.
So it's just weird shit, man. You know, but like a caller said before, man, when you get on this stage, man, you're dealing with millions of dollars, or at least a little, pretty large number when it comes to dollars, man. You got to be careful how you move, man. You really can't have people that are so quick to do that street shit because it's gonna end up costing you in the long run. So, you know, with that said, man, great weekend, great fights, and I look forward to the future. All right, man, I'm out.
It's the milkman, baby. Thank you for calling in. We're going to go out to some more alumni. You know them. We all love them.
Mr. Info Joe.
Tell them the truth, yo. Tell them the truth.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my
Tell them the
brother.
truth, yo. Tell them the truth.
You're listening to the voice of the people. There is no goddamn equal. TBV, pound for pound, #1. Yo, give me that crow for the end damn fight. Yo, I want to start off talking about David Benavidez. He made a big statement stopping Porky Medina. At 20 years old, this kid is a good fighter. I was very impressed. I would love to see where he goes from here. Tank, I would like to see him fight Tevin Farmer. That style would help him prepare for a fight with Loma in the future. If he gets past Tevin, I believe that's a 50-50 fight. I would give Tank the edge only because of his power. Crawford put on a master class performance. I picked Crawford to win, but damn, I never imagined I would see Crawford toying with Diaz like that. He sunned him, broke him down to his very last compound. Crawford looked phenomenal. I want to see him fight Ndongo, become the undisputed world champion, make history. It's in his reach. Aram said he would make that fight. After that, go to 147. The welterweight division is death row. All killers, all pick'em fights. I would love to see Crawford fight Spence, Thurman, Brooke, Porter, or Denny. All great fights. That's my call. Hit those thumbs up. Thanks, my brothers, for the show.
Info Joe, as always, good call. Matt.
Yes.
Excuse me there. Sorry, fellas. What we need to talk about, some other young prospects. Shakur Stevens from my neck of the woods, Newark, New Jersey, put on a electrifying performance.
Showcase.
Still was electrifying.
Showcase is often less fun.
Well, all right. But Showcase always has that negative feel about it. It's like, oh, he's in a Showcase fight, so it's like, oh, he's in an easy fight. It's like the promoter's word for easy fight.
When you're in your second 5-year career, it's okay to take Showcases. It's actually kind of assumed, I would say. When you're a Keith Thurman or a Danny Garcia or a Triple G, any of these top guys, we don't want to see them in Showcases. But guys in their second pro fight, literally their second pro fight, they should get easy fights. They're building up. Especially guys with the pedigree of Shakur Stevenson, you are going to build them up. Deontay Wilder was built up.
Whatever we decide to go with is okay. I mean, he was in his second fight, and he looked good, and I wanted to mention him. It was only one round. He got rid of him in the first round. And speaking of one-round knockouts, Teofilo Lopez, the Honduran that we got to meet, also signed a top rank. Now, he is something that you need to watch.
Doomsday would be all in right now. He bought all the stock in Lopez.
No, just like Dubois, you need to invest in Teofimo Lopez because he really had an electrifying performance. He really
amazing.
He really put on and he was a showman. That was nice. That was very nice, and he's powerful, very strong, very explosive, very agile. What division was that? Because damn, what would a fight in he and Tank look like? Because he looked like he's in the same division as Tank, to be honest with you.
I don't remember what division he's in. I can look that up really fast.
Yeah, we'll find that. But I did want to give those two guys mention. I think Teofilo improves to 5-0, 5 KOs, and obviously the young Shakur Stevens, the Olympians, which their trainers know each other. They've trained together, as we found out when we interviewed both.
He's a division higher than Gervonta Davis. He's at 135. He's in lightweight.
135. Yeah, you could tell because he's got a nice body. That kid. He's built for this.
5-0, all 5 wins by knockout. Obviously, has not fought really anyone of note. Most of these guys have 500 records, but that's assumed within your.
But the way he put together the knockout, it wasn't just like a 1-2 or a swarming of punches. No, it was. He's got super duper swag, like fucking. He's doing things Prince Nassim Hamed be doing in the ring. And I know it's too soon to compare him, obviously, but what I'm saying is so you can get a visual of what the audio was telling you. I want you to think like that. Like he's putting on a performance. He's not just beating you up. So kind of what Crawford did, he's making his guys look bad. And I want to see if that continues on the way up. So we're going to get back out to the phone lines, but
very quickly, I just want to address what I said in the chat very quickly. The ABC Unified Rules of Boxing. It's the only thing I could find that regards the ending of a bout per se. And I'm going to use the quote they have here to describe a round as well. Article 2 of the ABC Unified Rules of Boxing. The referee is the sole arbitrator of a bout and is the only individual authorized to stop a contest. Because there really is no statement or ruling on is the bell the end of the round, is it the ref separating them? There's no clear definition of that. I would say that this can loosely be ascribed to the end of a round as well, that the ref is the sole arbitrator of the end of the round as well as the end of the contest.
Yeah, I just want to remind, not reminder, but Doomsday in the chat actually reminded us that he was doing backflips, Teofilmio was.
Another Prince Nassim Hamed reference.
Yeah, so after the fight, he did this whole full simi. Whoop, no hands on the floor, none of that, you know what I mean? Simi tuck. So, yeah, he's definitely agile. He's from Davis, Florida, for anybody in the Florida area want to get behind him. And, yeah, I mean, look, the matchmakers, Brad and Brad Goodman over there at Top Rank, he's got to be happy because when you match these guys, you know, you're expecting them to win, but how they win determines so much. So it was impressive, for real. Especially for me, I was just put on the kid. He came out of nowhere for me, and I didn't want to just see him get the win. And like I said, he entertained me. He's got me drawn in. I'm ready to see more of him. I'm actually happy he's with Top Rank. I know he'll get some good exposure. And shout out to Top Rank. You know, we always give out applauses here. We got to give them an applause. That stream on Top Rank Live TV was picture perfect. I got to watch the Shakur Stevens. I got to watch the Teofimio Lopez. I got to watch the Terence Crawford stablemate. Did you watch the light heavyweight that is signed with Terence Crawford or that works out of Terence Crawford's gym?
No, because of the amount of boxing, I didn't miss the entire undercard of the Top Rank card except for the Lopez fight.
Yeah, I watched the part 2 of the undercards. They did have a part 1. So again, credit to Top Rank. When you got a part 1 stream and a part 2 stream, then you have the HBO stream on HBO, which obviously you have to pay for. But you know, they're putting in the work, man. I remember a long time ago where Top Rank didn't even have social media. So gone are those days. We're all evolving together, and that's a beautiful thing. We're gonna get out to some other alumni callers. Remember the number 14255695241. Press 1 time if you want to get on out here and voice your opinion.
If you know like I know, you should lie low. Killer, I used to get it in Ohio.
Yeah, man. Great weekend. I'm gonna start with the Dirrell brothers or the Dirrell fight first. You know, it was a good fight up until, you know, the end of the was, I don't know, the 5th or 6th round or whatever that happened. But I can't really fault dude. I kind of see it the same way you see it, Ness. So in the heat of the moment, when you literally in the midst of throwing punches, I mean, he hit him with a stiff left right when the bell rung. It was just the other 2 after the bell that was kind of, you know, a little bit egregious. But yo, I think that first left would have fucked Dirrell up anyway. Dirrell was kind of hurt after that first left anyway, to be honest. Gary Russell, man, he's really sitting down on his punches a lot more than what he used to. I kind of think he can beat the Leo Santa Cruz and the Carl Frampton. I just don't think that he's really trying to call those guys out like strong enough. I mean, he might say their names, but I don't think he's in a contract. So, I mean, I don't think he's really asking for that fight. Now, I say the best for last with Terence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. Man, yo. That was a nice performance. I would say, and I'm going to see if y'all on the same page as me, man. I would say it was Mayweather versus Gotti-esque. But Terence Crawford was getting hit, man. Nobody's really talked on that point about how Terence Crawford was getting touched. And it was sparingly, but he was getting hit in between his punches. And
Jay Will
could time him and hit him with some punches.
Do you think Sean would give Terence Crawford issues based off of that fight?
Say that again?
Do you think Sean Porter would give Terence Crawford a bunch of issues based off of this fight?
No, not Sean Porter, but the man he called out, Pacquiao. I think he'll match up a lot better with Keith Thurman versus Pacquiao, just by the way, like Gamboa and Felix, Diaz can really punch it between his punches and hurt him. And these are smaller guys hurting. Now Pacquiao's a bona fide puncher, so.
But Pacquiao who hurt him? Who hurt him? Hold on, Jay. Well, hold on. Who hurt him? Because I ain't see Diaz hurt him.
I mean, I don't know what fight you was watching, but there was a couple of times where Diaz caught him with some wild hooks, and he made him stand still for a second or two. He didn't, daze him, make him do the funky leg and that, but he stopped in his tracks. Now we all know that Gamboa hurt him.
visibly had him doing the funky leg. And that was a much smaller guy. So I'm just saying, him calling out Pacquiao, just like Mayweather told him, he better be on his shit because Pacquiao is really, really an elite fighter. And
Well, I don't know, man. His jab and his range, we're gonna have to see. I mean, what is gonna come down to is speed, is it not, Matt? I mean,
Pressure.
Pressure?
Yeah, it's pressure.
Yeah, I don't believe the pressure is a big deal because you got the speed, you got the jab rather, so that's how you keep the pressure off you is with the jab, and he has a very good jab. What's gonna matter is the speed, right? Because like if he can throw the jab and then Pacquiao is faster and he can counter, then he closes the distance. So
Well, when Felix Diaz rushed Terence Crawford, he had success.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Sean Porter could potentially beat Terence Crawford easier than guys like Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao because of the style.
And the size. Sean Porter is way different than Felix Diaz. Plus, Sean Porter does what Felix Diaz does. I mean, Sean Porter's the inventor of what Felix Diaz was trying to do. Let's get to, look at this. How are you, Suleiman the Scholar?
Yeah, I was watching fights, right? And I don't think Terence Crawford should move up till he fights against Francis Barthélemy, because what happens is Francis Barthélemy, he's avoiding good fighters in his division, and then when people vacate, he's a number one contender and fights for the belt. I would like to see how Terence Crawford does against Francis Barthélemy, and then I would like to see Raimundo Beltrán against Ndango, right? Because he already fought Crawford. How does Ndango deal with a guy with a left hook like that? You know what I'm saying? Then after that, make the match and unify, put them to unify, because they have all the belts already. So I would like to see Francis Barthélemy fight a world-class fighter like a Terence Crawford, and I would like to see his skill asset, because this guy is just waiting for the top contenders to vacate the belt so he could just get the belts. He's not fighting anybody. Like that's as credible as Terence Crawford. And then the losers, the ones that lost, like a Felix Diaz, I would like to see a Felix Diaz fight a Carol Relic, and see how they look, because they're all contenders in that division, and see if they could build on that, because the kid was very frustrated against Terence Crawford. Nothing was working. I didn't see his corner turn, hit the body. I don't think it was going to work anyway, because Terence Crawford protects his body pretty good with his rangy arms. But the kid, he looked very frustrated in there. They put him into a fight that he couldn't win. So if they put him against a guy like Carol Relic, somebody more in his level, they could build, because the kid is talented, but just he's not in the level of Terence Crawford. But this is the fight I would like to see: Francis Barthélemy against Terence Crawford before Crawford moves up, because if he vacates those belts, Francis Barthélemy is going to pick one of those up. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much.
Suleiman, thanks for calling in, brother.
I don't understand why Terence Crawford moving up and vacating the belts has any bearing on the fact that he should fight Francis Barthélemy. Francis Barthélemy arguably lost last night.
Listen, that's what he's saying. That Francis hangs around the division.
But why should Crawford stay at 140 and fight a no-name like Francis Barthélemy?
Because he wants to see Francis fight a legitimate elite fighter.
Francis fight Ndango.
Yeah, he did say that too. He said Ndango.
That's a fine fight. But Terence Crawford,
but he also said to build it. You got to understand, he's an old school. So he said to build the Crawford fight, let Crawford fight the guy he wanted.
There's no building at 140. Like, that's the one thing Suleiman doesn't understand, is that 140 is gone. Like, that's it. This is it for 140.
Yeah,
like,
but that's you. I mean, let that man dream. That's his dream. That's his opinion.
It's a weird dream, though. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's his opinion. Santiago, what is your opinion?
Or dream.
Well, as much as I would enjoy watching Crawford become the undisputed junior welterweight champion, I am also with the same mindset as Matt, that at this point in time, minus Ndango, there really is nobody at 140 for him. He should really consider moving up to 147, take on a top-tier opponent like a Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. And, you know, a fight with Danny Garcia already has a storyline. 2 former unified 140-pound champions, you know. So that would be interesting to see who settles better at 140, especially since it would be Crawford's first fight at 140. So I like seeing Crawford's performance. You know, he pretty much, like I said, you know, got that pressure down and pretty much just picked him apart until his own corner called a stop to the fight. You know, kudos to him on his performance. I look forward to seeing him in his next fight. Give me Crow for the Ryota Murata fight.
My bad for the Crow.
I think everybody who knows that Murata won that night is going to be eating crow because that was such a bullshit decision. I feel really bad for the guy, and I do hope he's able to get that immediate rematch with him, especially if the WBA president himself feels that it's warranted too. The main event of FS1, you know, it was a hell of a fight, you know, pulling double duty, watching FS1 and HBO at the same time. I'm glad I was able to watch both fights. Benavidez looks good, strong, and hopefully he can continue to improve and look as impressive as he did last night against some of the top tier competition at 168 pounds. And as for the co-main event for Showtime, you know, it is truly despicable what the uncle did because, you know, I consulted a friend of mine who was a law student, and she pretty much laid it down to me flat that, you know, after everything that happened, especially the fact that it was caught on camera, not only is that guy in deep hot water, you know, he can't claim anything after that because, you know, like you said, he was stupid enough to do it caught on camera, you know. This is professional boxing. You're a professional at that point. Nothing you do, none of those emotions, all those have to be kept in check. And for him to have done that, yes, in retaliation to what happened, it's still despicable what he did. You know, so whatever happens to him and, you know, Anthony, or if he had anything to do with it, hopefully, you know, they, you know, get what they reap.
Yeah, man, Santiago. I mean, everybody pretty much feels like you. I want to give a quick happy birthday shout out to my man Just in Time, 1973 on Twitter, man. Congratulations on the born day. May babies. Let me see. Is it past the 14th? Yeah, you're absolutely a Gemini, man. Shout out to you. Us Geminis fucking ruling the world. That's right. Got to give me one of them shirts to say all the great men are born in May. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or the best hosts come from May. What do you think about that, Matt?
Oh, no. I'm not born in May. Not really true.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, what do you think about it? Because I know your birthday's not in May. You know what I'm saying? It was like a trick question. You know what I mean? Let's get on it. Oh, check that out. We got some alumni. Yo, do we got any ringers or what? You doing your job over there? Or you still mad at me?
We got some boomerangers, but no ringers.
You still mad at me, guys, or what? I don't know. I think he's mad at me.
We got Monster Piece too. If we want to go to Monster Piece.
Did she text you? Because usually she's like, you know, in the kitchen,
all
in plátanos and shit. Because we might not know if she's ready right now. I mean, you know, Diaz is her cousin, and he got that ass whooped. So, you know, she might not be ready. We'll see what she says.
Are they literally cousins? I can see it.
Oh, absolutely. I thought you knew. I thought everyone knew that. Let's get out to some calls. We're going to go back out to Chicago with an alumni from back in the day. Santana, what up?
So what's up? It was a great night of boxing. We'll start with the Davis fight. It was a great performance and stuff like that. He's only 22, so he still has room for improvement. I just wanted a lot of people to pump the brakes on him, though. It's like y'all kind of rushing him, saying he might be the next superstar, the next Mayweather. But y'all was saying the same thing about Ronan when he's fighting at the lower weight classes. So let's just give him time and let's see where his career ends up. As far as the Crawford fight, great performance. I like seeing him and Lomachenko fight because it's like watching artwork. Like it's great to see. You know, he's so skilled. There's a few things he do need to work on, like his defense. One of the callers said he was getting hit a few times too much. You know, well, this is boxing. You're gonna get hit, but he was getting hit with the same punches. You got greats like Mayweather and Rigondeaux and Ward. You don't hit them with the same punches. You know, they make adjustments. So I feel like he needs to tighten up his defense, especially if he's gonna move up to the higher weight classes. But yeah, I would like to see him. If he's not, I can't get mad at a guy for wanting to unify. So if he doesn't get the Ndago fight next, I would like to see him move up because 140 is a wasteland. There's really nothing there but the unify. So, and I know Ndago, he got a mandatory, so maybe they can pay him some step aside money and they can fight for the belts. As far as the Dirrell fight, my take on that, I feel like it was a dirty hit. It was after the bell. I felt like, well, actually, when he hit Dirrell, he hit him at the bell. He already, if you look at the tape, he already knocked him out. Like Dirrell was gonna fall anyway, but he hit him with an extra punch. That was the dirty punch. And I felt like the trainer didn't really overreact. You can't tell somebody how to react when your family's there getting hit dirty. You know, because if Dirrell would have ended up like Prisha Cologne and really like injured, then we wouldn't have said that the trainer overreacted. So I can't really say the man overreacted. That was his nephew. I mean,
I would have.
Yeah, you still got to say you overreact because what you're saying is if Dirrell signed up to fight and something like that happens, it's okay for every trainer to take the law into their own hands and be judge, prosecutor, and fucking jury. Like, nah, man, that's not. And that's also like fighting fire with fire.
It's not different. It's not different. Don't say it's different. I'm sorry. It's not different. You're still judged by the laws of the land, whether you're in America, the UK, wherever. You have to stay by their laws. I'm sorry. He broke a law. He assaulted a human being that did nothing wrong. Get over it. Stop defending illegal acts, all of you out there.
So what you're saying, that was a legal shot that Dirrell got hit with? It
doesn't matter because that was a foul in a sport. It was not an illegal act.
In a coma. Whoa, wait. If Dirrell would have ended up brain dead in a coma, then what?
It still doesn't excuse somebody assaulting a human being. It still does not.
He was right. I'm just saying you can't tell somebody how to react when it's your family in there. This is not just a human
being. You should not insult a human being. You should not break the law. I mean, should he take a gun out and shoot him the next? I mean, that's guaranteed, right? Could he take a knife out and stab him? He hurt his family members.
Sir, we gotta agree to disagree. We gotta agree to disagree. That's all. And as far as the Gary Russell, I feel like Gary Russell, it was a great performance. I felt like he stayed in the pot. I felt like he could have made it easier, but he wanted to prove a point and stay in the pocket. I feel like he should, if he don't get the Leo Santa Cruz fight, I think he should move up. And to me, Gary Russell doesn't take his career serious. He has a nonchalant attitude about his career. I only think he takes boxing serious. So it's just like, a day job for him. He really don't care about it. So if he doesn't, like I said, if he can't, fight the titles, I think he should move up and maybe challenge Davis or something like that. And that's all I got.
All right, Santana, thanks for calling in. Well. Everyone is not going to feel the same way, but
it's still illegal. He still assaulted a human being.
I don't think that it would be right for all of us to react in that manner because, I mean, we'd all be fighting each other. It'd be a fucking Royal Rumble going around the whole world if everyone took it upon themselves to be, the law.
There's a reason we don't have eye for an eye. And there's a reason if somebody kills my family member, I cannot go get a gun and go kill them.
Yeah, and it's a cheap shot. Like for anybody, come on, you guys are like, oh, you're making an excuse. It still was a cheap shot. It's not like he even said I'm like, yo, it was a cheap shot. Like, And so that's okay too because of the circumstances. I mean, I don't know. But Daniel out in Houston, talk to us, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was one of the best weekends of the year boxing. It was good. Tank Davis did his thing. I actually, since Dom won this fight against Murata when they gave him decision, I guess they probably will have a rematch, but I guess Danny Jacobs might have his next opponent too, wouldn't he? Like, wouldn't WBA give him the shot?
I don't know, man, because Robert Brandt is patiently waiting for that shot. They're going to have to pay him some step-aside money, and that is a Derek James-trained fighter. Derek James is the trainer of Earl Spence Jr. and Jermell Charlo, and those guys don't take step-aside money, so I don't know.
Well, we'll see what things work out. But in Japan, man, Japan got 9 world champions now. And I think that's something that people should take notice that the island's doing some good things. Koji Tanaka, like Matt said, that was a very, very good fight. That was Puerto Rico's probably best prospect behind, or probably ahead of Verdejo now. Yeah, Mexico lost. I think most Mexicans that fought yesterday internationally lost, so that sucks for me. But those Uzcategui situation, that's bad for boxing. Would a rematch happen, do you think, or they wouldn't want that again?
A rematch between who?
Ness? Uzcategui and Dirrell.
Man, I
kind of hope not, just because I know some shit might go down in that fight, and I don't want that to happen in boxing.
Yeah, I don't want a black eye, and listen, be honest. Like,
well, the thing is,
Dirrell was losing anyway, man.
The thing is that I feel bad for both fighters, actually. The way it all turned out. But I guess Uzcategui. I mean, he's.
I don't think any of us are blaming Andre Dirrell for what happened at post fight. No one's blaming Andre Dirrell. That's not his fault at all.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying that I think both maybe should get, something good down the line after this. I guess Dirrell fights the Gill again in a rematch to unify the IBF.
Nah. You think he deserved a title shot?
I mean, he has the interim title. So, like, if the Gill says, "Oh, I don't want to fight no more," oh, boom, Dirrell's the champion now. I mean, I guess that's the way the IBF is going to work it. And by the way, they do interim titles for the IBF. Milan Malindo from Philippines, he won the interim championship in December, and just today he beat up Yagashi and won round, the full champion. So, they do have a history of it. But yeah, it was a very, very nice week of boxing, man. Thank y'all.
All right, Daniel. I guess they're selective in the divisions in which they give it out, because I haven't heard a welterweight interim champion mentioned yet. I mean, someone could correct me. I'm probably wrong. Obviously, now that everyone has an interim title. I mean, shit. It would probably be bad of the IBF not to have when everyone else is making that interim title commission.
I'm a motherfucking monster.
Good evening, fellas. How you guys are doing tonight?
Awesome.
Awesome. I'm doing great too. I'm actually cooking right now, so sorry if I'm sound a little bit
You're cooking, really? Ness is right.
But
You're cooking.
What you said?
Ness is 100% right. He called it. You're cooking some food. Not ready for the call. Just dropping the ball, monster.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Really quickly, I thought it was a great night of boxing. My least favorite part, obviously, was the Dirrell fight. I thought that was. I mean, I really never understand that kind of behavior from the corner. I understand from the fighter themselves to kind of lose their temper or something, but from the corner, it's kind of like, he didn't die. Nothing terrible happened after that. He was totally fine, and he got the win. Like, why risk not being in your nephew's corner the next time he gets on the ring. Why risk going to jail for who knows how long? Those charges will, and it just doesn't make any sense. Why risk all of that? Being with your family and all of that just because somebody almost hurt your nephew and didn't even hurt him to the point that he had to get out of there in a stretcher the way Marcelo did when he fought fucking Beltran last night. So come on, people need to sometimes rethink their actions. And I think it's just a very very, very broke mentality. I don't expect them, to be any less. And I'm not trying to be prejudice or whatever the case may be. It's just the truth. I grew up around these people. That's just the way they think. So I really don't give a fuck about him. I hope he stays in jail for the rest of his life. I really don't give a fuck about him. In regards to Dirrell, well, better luck next time. I hope he, continues to be a professional and not lose his temper the way his uncle did and actually be understandable to his family. Because at this point, it's kind of fucking ridiculous. In terms of the fight last night, they were all great. I do agree with the rivalries that happened with Murata. I do agree with the Bartholomew fight. I was actually watching that fight and didn't think that Bartholomew was that great. I really don't know why they're even discussing other great Cuban boxers around him. It's just when Showtime was doing that, I was like, this guy's not even doing anything that deserves even mentioning the greatest Cuban fighters of all time. So I don't know why that decision even happened, but that was it. Why cry over spilled milk? Crawford and Diaz. Guys, honestly, the Crawford and Diaz fight really, I was a little sad about what happened to, about the way he lost. I was really hoping that he made it. The entire time I was sitting there, really happy to be seeing Crawford because I have come on the show many times before and you guys know how I feel about Crawford. So I was rooting for Crawford, but deep down inside, I really wanted Diaz to put on a good performance and last until the 12th round. But that didn't happen. So unfortunately, DR gets another L as always. They're getting L's. But it's all good. I'm not mad at that. Crawford is just amazing. He could make anybody look like that. But my question to you guys is, and I don't know if you touched upon this already, but I haven't heard it much. But another caller, hello?
Monster, even Thurman? Do you think Crawford?
Thurman, you know what? Remember when I said that if we ever see Thurman and Crawford in the ring, it will be like seeing Einstein and Isaac Newton together in the ring? So I don't really know who I would pick. I probably won't even pick for that fight. I would just sit back and enjoy the masterful performance that both fighters would put together in the ring. In terms of Diaz fighting last night, do you feel like he had really good moments in there, or do you think that it just didn't matter because Crawford's performance was just that much powerful?
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter, right? I kind of felt that way too. I kind of was like, damn, it didn't matter. It's the small things that he was doing to try to beat this guy. You could really tell he put every single ounce of his soul and heart into this fight. And it just wasn't fucking enough for somebody like Crawford. And that's scary. That really is scary. So it was really interesting. And Dango was in the house, so it was really funny to see that because I don't even know if Crawford even wants that fight because he didn't even bring him up. But who knows?
He did bring him up.
I wouldn't mind. He did?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that. Maybe because my family was being super loud. What happened?
Yeah, he said, Ndango's here. He came to my fight. We could get it on if he wanted.
Nice. I need to go back and listen to that interview. Nice. Yeah, that would be great. I would rather see him, as Thurman recovers, I would rather see him, get this fight with Ndango, become the best that ever lived in 140, besides Richard Pryor or Alexis Arguello, and just, murk it. I really hope he does that. And then move up to 147. He looks like he can make 140 really well. I mean, I saw him training, and he looked really good. So I really don't see a problem with him staying at 140 and getting that fight. And then maybe move up and, most likely give everybody problems at 147. In regards to the next fight next week, I know I'm just gonna touch on this really quickly, but I really don't think that Errol Spence is gonna last too long at 147. I think he looks really big for that division, just like Brooke. But anyway, that's what I have to say. I'll elaborate more on that next week when we talk about that fight.
Bye, Monster.
All righty then. Antonio in Albany. Antonio in Albany.
518.
518. Did Matt put a wrong name on you?
I don't think so.
All right. M Stacks, talk to me.
You. What's going on? You.
Loud and clear.
Man, I'm just saying, who you guys got as your top 3 welters right now?
Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, and the winner of Kell Brook, Earl Spence.
Ness?
Right
Same
now, right now. I don't know. I need to check, man. I wasn't prepared for this question. This is a trick question right here. I got to check.
It's a trick question.
I'm just wondering. I've been listening. And what happened to the Terence Crawford, Danny Garcia fight? What happened to Danny Garcia? I don't
Danny
get
lost. That's why.
Guy. You know, he more than lost. He was overrated and he lost. That's what happened. Terence Crawford, Danny Garcia, let's get it on. Terence Crawford schooling these boys, man. He's schooling them. He got an A++. He got extra credit on that test he had last night. He finished early. You understand? You feel me? This guy Terence Crawford is a problem to anybody. He's been a problem. That's why Pacquiao punk ass ain't gonna fight him. Look at the Walmart manager. I ate out last night and I had a hair in my food. And the manager came out. It was Jeff Horn. He said my food was free, yo. That's his call, yo.
You can't win.
That was good.
Yo, and I'm checking. I'm gonna throw Sean Porter up in there, man, because Porter's done more at welterweight. So it'll be Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman.
No, stop saying that. What? How can Sean Porter be better than a guy that beat him or a guy that beat the guy that beat him? Next weekend, that winner is a top 3 welterweight.
Yeah, but he said right now. Right now. Next weekend ain't right now.
You can say the winner of that fight. You can say that.
Why? We don't even know how that fight's gonna look. You don't even know
the winner of that. We know the winner of that fight is going to be.
He said right now.
Oh my god!
And I like these 3 welterweights.
Earl Spence and Kell Brook are better than Sean Porter, but okay. M Stacks.
You lost him.
You still there?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
I'm here.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I mean Sean Porter, he lost to Kell Brook in a rematch. I mean, really depends on who's reffing that night. Because I don't know if Kell Brook can hold that guy off unless he's holding. But I don't have Kell Brook beating Spence because of the simple fact is he moved up and fought Triple G, and I'm sorry, man. As a middleweight, you're not the same. A welterweight, you damn sure ain't the same after fighting that guy.
Well, all right, M Stacks, thanks for calling in. We going out to Sal, young Mike Tyson in these streets. What's going on?
What's going on with you guys? Yeah, I just want to start off by saying it was a great night of boxing, a great day. The whole day was jam-packed. Let me start off by getting my crow for the Dirrell fight. I mean, I thought Jose, I'm not even going to be able to pronounce his name. I thought he was going to win it. It was looking like it was going to happen. I mean, all the judges had him. I think one judge had it a draw. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? He got hit a little late after the bell. I mean, we can go all day back and forth on whether it was right or wrong, but it is what it is. And I mean, as far as the trainer, I mean, I should say the boy that did that little bitch shit and gave a little sucker punch, because men don't do that shit. You feel me? And when you watch the replay, he was looking at the trainer and then swung at the fighter. Like, be a man, bro. If you have a problem, look at the fighter in his face, tell him how you feel, and then make your move. I mean, it's still not right, but don't be a bitch about it. You're looking one way and then you swing at the other way. And that's all I got on that, man. That shit gets my blood boiling. So,
all right.
Just talk about Crawford. Yo.
Yeah, you there?
Oh, okay. Man, I think Crawford, man, look, he just looks better and better every fight, bro. I honestly feel that if he goes to 147, he'll do pretty good. I'm not gonna go and say he's gonna beat the top 3 or whatever, but I mean, he's whooping the people at 140. He's not beating them. He's whooping their ass, bro. He's whooping their ass. Simple as that. I think what he should do is just fight in Dongo, be the unified, undisputed champion, and then go for the Danny fight. Because him and Danny got the little bad blood. We already seen it. I think they said Danny got to win over him in the amateurs. So go ahead, man. If you fight Danny, you'll bro. I feel like that fight will get him to the stardom that he needs, bro. You know what I mean? Because there's bad blood there, and bad blood sells in boxing. And I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I got, man. You guys have a good day, man.
All right, Sal. Well, thanks for calling in, brother, and definitely voicing your opinion and frustrations right here with us, man. We're happy to be that platform. We're gonna get back out to these phone lines. We're gonna continue to get to everyone. So wait patiently. Don't think that we're skipping, because we're going right down the line.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay Showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see two motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next. What a great show. Come stop, donate.
Yo.
What up, Georgie? What up? What up, brother? You know we hear you, man.
Man, just give me that crow, you hateful bastard.
Who you pick, bro? Let the world know why you eating.
Kick me while I'm down, but you know what? I took that crow for my Dominican people. And thank God they went there to support. And the way Felix Diaz went down, that nigga went down like a warrior, my nigga. He was getting beat, and the corner had to stop him. Yo, with the fucking violins at, man. Get me up with those shits.
Day won his own violins.
Yeah, baby. Diaz, my baby brother, bro. Thanks for representing for boxing. Beautiful night. It was majestic, brother. Everybody went down the shield. Everybody went there to slow down. What? But to be positive, this is what I get. Fuck you. Listen. Everything that happened with my fucking me paying my Showtime, my HBO, the $260 fucking a month shit, it was worth it. It was worth it. Why? Because these people went out there to fucking throw down. And 2017 is the best year in a long time, man. We said some shit earlier about that, right? Marty?
Yeah, sorry. What's up? What was the question?
You see, you always ignoring him, nigga. This is what's wrong with you. I'm trying to fucking save this motherfucking finesse, and you don't even pay attention to me, bro.
Yo, it's hard to even understand you with it. Every word out your mouth is a curse. Trying to make the sentence together.
I try to be civilized with you, man, but you.
What did you say?
Don't let me go there, bro. Just chill out, bro. I'm talking to Matt. Who's Matt there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm here. What up?
Be part-time up in here. You got to do work. So what you saying about? What you complaining about?
What do you mean? What am I complaining about?
Well, first of all, you remember when Juan for Vasquez out on Puerto Rico that they threw down after the bell?
Yeah. That was some bullshit.
The security at. What was the fucking so-called
I mean, these fucking sanctioning bodies at? So this shit happened for the reason. So the second time he get fucking knocked down after the bell. That shit sounds fishy to me. Leave WWE to Ishkish. We can't do down that fucking
No, that's not WWE shit. Don't even imply that, Georgie.
What are you saying? What are you saying that this happened in the Juan Manuel Lopez fight versus versus Wilfredo Vasquez? And what about the sanctioning body? Because it's hard to.
So whoever sanctioned this fucking show, these people went pay-per-view on Puerto Rico, right? So obviously some type of sanctioning body from the island somewhere fucking sanctioned this event. When shit like this happening, that you got one corner jailing before the fucking even round is over, you know they're not gonna go there with a nice way. So it has to be some type of security. So these people, they all these fucking show fly on some WWE shit. It's bad enough that the shit happened. Listen, if you got these people there, you have to put a referee that is capable of dealing with these athletes. This is top-class worldwide shit. What are you talking about? This footage on YouTube that show people getting knocked down all the time, referees getting laid out because that's what their job, to push your body in between them. Especially if they do warning. The referee warning like 3 times before that.
Cut it. Georgie, we gave you more time than 3 minutes. But when you mix the 10% of truth and realness that you bring with the 90%, aliens, reptilians, sanctioning bodies, the mafias, it's really hard to follow. Just being real.
We're gonna go to KM Star.
And KM Star, very quickly, I just want to apologize because I have you down as a boomerang and you're a ringer, and that is my bad. I have that changed now. That would not happen again. I'm so sorry. I hope you forgive us.
Hey, Cam Star, correct me if I'm wrong. Sounds like something you heard before, right?
No, I actually dialed in late. I didn't get on till 8:30. So I figured you guys wouldn't have seen me there. And the truth is, I wanted to get a little bit of a feel for the flow, like what you guys have been talking about. So great weekend of boxing. I was actually at the Garden for the fight, the Crawford fight. And I'm sure this was covered already. Like, definitely he's running out of guys to beat up on, isn't he, at 140? And the only thing is that I think he's going to have a big challenge with the casuals. He really needs to get a big name or someone with a lot of fan recognition in front of him. It was like Mayweather before he got Gotti. I mean, like, he's dominating, but, people aren't really, like, feeling the excitement. Because I was there, and, the casual guys next to me were like, yo, what's going on here? This guy's taller. He's longer. How come he's not just pushing a guy and knocking him out? He has him right there in the corner. And definitely stylistically, you can see that he really is like 80% counterpuncher, because he likes to work off what the other guy's given him more than he likes to make it himself. I'm not sure if that, how that plays, how that plays for him as he goes up to a higher weight class, and the level of opponent, I don't know, like guys like Pacquiao, whatever, how that will work for him. But honestly, like, even being there at the Garden, like, there were more people cheering for that Peruvian guy than there were for Crawford. So it was like, I didn't know this Maciel dude, but but he had more people there rooting for him than Crawford did, in my opinion. But putting all that aside, I mean, like, this level of dominance, I mean, it's like, it sucks. I wish he didn't have to move up. I wish there were people for him right there. I didn't catch the conversation from earlier, but, I don't know who he's going to fight. Oh, Gervonta Davis? God damn. I gotta quickly say this. The first time I saw him fight, I was like, he looked a little crude. I'm not sure. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, because he's not crude at all. That guy, Liam Walsh or whatever his name was, he looked like a pretty well-rounded fighter, and Gervonta Davis just blew him out of the water. I'm so impressed with this guy. Anyway, I'm actually hoping to see him fight a Gary Russell or Lomachenko. I'll stop right there.
All right, Kay. Thanks for calling in, brother. We're going to go out to Washington State, D.C. Marcus in D.C. Okay, so
don't worry, because Marcus called right back in right afterwards, because he's on twice somehow.
Marcus.
You said what now?
Nah, we got you. Talk to us, brother.
Yo, man, great weekend in boxing. What's happening with your boxing voice? Hey, man, listen to this real quick, because this boy don't need that much attention. This is about the second time Andre Dirrell got hit supposedly after the bell and feigned the injury afterwards to get the fuck out of a fight. Stop this madness. Him and his brother showed more motherfucking energy after the fight than they've been showing in their goddamn fights. Get them the fuck out of there. Tank Davis, we already know what it is, man. Listen, he will destroy you if you're there to be destroyed. I don't know yet, but if they match him up, we'll really find out about him if him and Tevin Farmer get together. I don't know if that happens yet, but we'll find out what's happening with him. Terence Crawford, man, look, I already told y'all, the boy elite. We only got a couple elite dudes out here. I heard that Felix Diaz, they was talking about wanting him to run for politics, a political office in the Dominican. Ness, I think you should head that up, because after this, he still can't beat nobody at 140 after this, because when Mikey come up, it's the same type of ass was going to come. That Russian in with no jab shit is going to turn you from Dominican to Chinese every motherfucking fight. You're going to lead the fight every fight with slanted eyes. Got to do something different. I know they gold medalists and all that, but I know a whole bunch of amateurs that'll beat the shit. I know a whole bunch of amateurs that'll beat the shit out of these gold medal dudes, because USA Boxing's on some bullshit now. They be playing favoritism, and they like certain styles of fighters because they think it'll do well on international level. But people like Tank, people like the dude who they showed on Showtime with Tank, and a couple of them really, really good fighters didn't get picked on the Olympic team because politics. So, yeah, he's gold medalist, and I know he's from Dominican gold medalist, but neither here nor there. Look, if Pacquiao and Terence Crawford fight, I think that'll be the best fight. I have no idea how Terence Crawford will do at 47. He seemed really, he don't seem just strong at 140, but he just seemed, I've always said he's a problem solver, and that's what the problem most of these fighters are, is that they fight one way, and they make adjustments the next fight. Young and make adjustments quarterly within the fight, and it always fucks these dudes around. And so he got an old school type of mentality and fight. Look like he can fight inside, outside, counter punch, pat shot you, whatever you want to do, he can do it and do it better than you. As far as best welterweight, once I come back and all the other dudes come back, I don't know if I want to see Terence Crawford jump straight into that, and I definitely wouldn't want to see him unified fighting fucking Danny. Danny need to make a fight first. So unified junior welterweight titleist against a unified welterweight titleist, I'll accept that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I would take that, whether that's Spence Brook winner maybe picking up a belt somewhere, or whether he waiting them out for Thurman. But I think at 140, unless Mikey Garcia come up, there ain't no work for him. And if Adrian Broner don't come down, there ain't no work for him. So, you know what I'm saying? That'll just be a stinky division. Other than that, man, that's my call. Give it back to the people, man. Ow! We out.
Marcus, great call, brother. Great call for sure. Let's get on out to Texas. We got Class Inbound. Talk to us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, so yeah, this weekend of fights, I'm only gonna need Crow for one pick, and it was the Ryota and Dan fight. Yeah, so I didn't know if I was on the show and picked him or not, but I was picking him. So if I didn't call it either way, I was going to pick him. So yeah, just give me the credit for that. But other than that, Gervonta Davis, he really impressed me. Liam Walsh, from the 2 rounds that I saw, he seems like a pretty decent contact fighter. Like he does certain things well. And then in the 3rd round, Gervonta Davis went into another gear and just absolutely blasted Walsh for the rest of that, for the remainder of that fight. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I remember when we used to talk about Anthony Joshua having the titles, and whether when he first got his title over Charles Martin, and whether or not he should be getting in with people like Deontay Wilder at the time, or Vladimir. Is it okay for world champions, young world champions, to not be, I wouldn't say forced to fight other world champions, but more like, is it okay for them to avoid like Loma? That seems to be like something I've been kind of seeing. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Other than that, Andre Dirrell looked horrible. Andre Dirrell did not impress, and his uncle, I'll say this, he had a nice left hook. It was a cheap shot, but it looked nice. I mean, Andre Dirrell, I don't know what is up with him. It looks like he's lost some youth, or he's nothing like the fighter I remember seeing. Gilberto Ramirez, David Benavidez, who was really impressive, by the way. James DeGale, again, all those guys blast Dirrell out of there right now. But that's all I've got for you guys.
All right, Class and Bound. Thanks for calling in, my friend. We're going out to
Very quick.
looks.
Hold on, very quick.
Yes.
The idea of champion. Should they take hard fight? Should they unify very quickly? The idea of Anthony Joshua, the idea of Gervonta Davis. I think in the boxing world, I think it's acceptable that they do not take those fights. Whether or not they should or not, I think everyone has their own opinion about it. But in the boxing world, it is acceptable for guys like Gervonta Davis to not have to unify against Lomachenko right now, because we accept that he is still a work in progress. Same with Anthony Joshua. There's a reason why a lot of people excuse him not fighting Deontay Wilder, because they believe he has room to grow. So.
Hey, before we get out to this other caller, do you want to piece together this piece of, I guess,
what, the Shannon Briggs stuff?
Speculation. Oh, we need to touch on that too.
Yeah.
We do need to touch on
what speculation are you talking about then?
Mr. Briggs. I actually do want to touch on Shannon Briggs really quick, because it is unfortunate that we're speaking of Shannon Briggs testing positive for increased testosterone levels, and that his fight with Frezzo Kendo might be canceled simply because there was a time where I was trying to get multiple TBV correspondents to travel to Florida to see this fight.
Not even the fight. The press conference a month before the fight. You wanted us to travel out there.
True. And had they listened to me, we would have all been looking stupid right now. And that is very sad. That is very sad, because that means that I tried to believe in Briggs. Now, obviously, I believe his name could still be cleaned up, if he somehow the B sample, doesn't end up.
There's a due process that has yet to happen, so I think everyone should.
It was only urine and stuff, so maybe something happens, and he's freed, because the campaign of Let's Go Champ is such a inspirational and motivational one that it would be smeared if he ends up being a fucking doper. That being said,
put that to the side.
No, I mean, obviously you can have your parts on that, and then, we could go to the next subject.
I just think that I really don't want to lay into Shannon Briggs right now, because I think I've always been the one that has challenged the VADA program, that's challenged PED testing and the essence of it. I've always been that type of guy. So I'm gonna stay on that path. I'm gonna be consistent here, even though I've been one to sort of shit on the Shannon Briggs resurgence. He has a due process yet, and with the current landscape and climate of PEDs and how easy it is to have tainted supplements, with his A sample only be tested, with it only being urine testing and such, I want to wait before I lay any sort of claim or strong opinion about this particular situation. I hope he gets his day in court. I hope he has the best defense possible. And I hope it's not true. I do. I don't hope any of these guys use steroids. And like you said, he does have a brand about him that is about an uplifting message. And I think there are people that look up to him. And I think if that was to be tarnished in any way, that is unfortunate for his fans. So I hope that this situation gets cleared up soon. And whatever it is, justice prevails as always. And the truth of the matter gets figured out.
Before we get to some callers, I wanted to go back and forth with you on this little conspiracy, right? We got the conspiracy on Broner and his next opponent. As far as we know, he has no fight scheduled. If you're as much of a boxing degenerate as myself, then you know certain things. You've watched certain things, and you've heard him say certain things. You've watched him post on his IG that Rancey's is shitty. And I do mean Rancey's Bartholomew. you've watched him on a radio show say that he's got a big fight in July and it's going to be at 140. What's interesting about this radio show, and you know I don't normally plug people, but Kevin Cunningham is a friend of mine's, and we probably will be using his gym for Border Wars. So, plug. That being said, on that interview, Matthew, Broner made it very, very clear that 140 is where he needed to be. Then Cunningham went a step further in saying that he needed to try and establish dominance at 140. Now, mind you, Cunningham hasn't made in his mind, right? Because this interview took place before the fight. And he had it made up in his mind that if Crawford went in there and wiped out Diaz, he was moving on. He was moving on to bigger and better things, and it wouldn't be Undango, which would leave a void for Broner to fill. Obviously, the video was edited too, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, a lot of the interview was taken out because obviously they must have slipped up and said the opponent. My theory is, Hipster, that the opponent is Rances Bartholomew. I don't think that he was meant to look bad, but he did. And I think that maybe Broner thought it was a big fight. Or am I wrong? Is it no way that Broner could be saying that a fight between he and Rances is a big fight? And try and take yourself out of that Hipster shell, because maybe you know, stuck in the bubble will be like, no, Rances versus anybody is big.
No, that's not true. But Broner versus everyone's big. That's the difference. That Broner in his head may think that, well, I'm the money fight in a way, that I pull the viewership. So whoever I fight is going to be a big fight. And so I think that whoever he fights, he thinks is big. So regardless, it's going to be very hard to tell who his opponent is based off of that statement. Now, 140, that's the interesting part. Who is it going to be at 140? You have Rances Bartholomew. Obviously, they're under the Al Heyman banner. That makes sense from a promotional standpoint and a managerial / advisorial standpoint. But I don't think it happens. I think that fight makes little sense for Broner's career, and it makes little sense for Rances Bartholomew's career. And like you said, they thought when that interview was being conducted that Rances Bartholomew was going to go in there and maybe have a showcase against Raylick. You know, I didn't think that, but they maybe did. And maybe that's why they thought it was going to be a big fight. That on a card with Gervonta Davis, who's becoming a star, on a card with Gary Russell Jr., who's sort of an established name within boxing, but not really. With guys like Andre Dirrell, they thought that Rances Bartholomew was going to get some shine maybe off of a big win, but he did not get a big one. I think if he stays at 140 and Terence Crawford moves up, and that's a huge stipulation, that if Terence Crawford moves up and leaves 140, the Julius Ndongo fight is a big fight. Julius Ndongo holds the UK market as well.
Wow. What about that? Do you think that he's saying the big fight is Ndongo in July?
I think he thought the big fight was Rances Bartholomew, and then
I don't think Rances is big.
I mean, not big. Julius Ndongo is big.
On whose television?
I just think Julius Ndongo also has that UK market in his back, his back pocket in a way. Him beating Ricky Burns and having some Eddie Hearn shine does play a factor here. I just think that Ndongo holding more of the belts too, like it's just a bigger fight, and plus it's a better fight. That's the fight I would want to see if Broner is going back to 140 and Terence Crawford moves up. But if Terence Crawford does not move up and he stays at 140 for his next fight, then it's Broner Crawford. That's the only fight that's acceptable to me at 140 if Terence Crawford and Broner are at that division. They should not fight anyone else but each other. Period.
Yeah, but you know how difficult that's going to be with the politics of boxing and Bob Arum, Al Heyman, all that garbage. But again, let's see how right we are with our little conspiracy, right? Broner saying July is a big fight. And I'll give you some more information. He's in training camp in Florida right now where it's hot, and at least you can melt, fat like butter. So let's get out to California. Looks like we got a first-time caller. We got 310. You're on the line. First-time caller?
Yeah, I'm Rob from the Bully Squad.
Rob, have you called in before?
How you doing, man? No, it's the first time.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and give you this first-time caller intro. Let us know your name and where you're calling from, and then go ahead and get into your call.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
I'm Rob from L.A. I'm from L.A.
From the Bully Squad, he said, huh?
Great weekend of boxing. I'm the Bully Squad on Instagram. I'm a dog trainer. I train dogs professionally, but I'm a big boxing fan.
Nice.
All right, this weekend, man, great weekend of boxing. Terence Crawford, I don't see anybody in 140 touching Steve, period. I mean, he beat up Felix Diaz. He won his gold medal as a welterweight, okay, in the amateurs. He was an awkward fighter, and he made him look like an amateur. There's nobody stopping Terence Crawford, period.
But you mean at 140, right?
Fight Pacquiao. Yes, at 140. But when he goes up to 147, which I think he should go up maybe in the next year or so, he's going to give problems to everybody. The reason that the dinosaur, Bob Arum, wants him to fight Pacquiao because he wants the passing of the torch. Period. Terence Crawford will beat Pacquiao. Pacquiao does not want to see him. That's the way I see that.
Listen, Rob. I gotta ask here because you got me interested. I'm already on Instagram. Is it Bully Squad? I mean, can we get the spelling? Because and are we talking English Bulldogs or we're talking bullies?
English Bulldogs. I train everything.
Oh, nice.
The TheBullysQuad.
All right.
Yeah. And this David Benavidez, this kid is better than his brother. His brother was the one making all the noise when he first came out. This kid is better than his brother. Hello.
We hear you loud and clear.
Hey, Rob, very quickly.
This kid's gonna.
Do you think that Gilberto Ramirez versus David Benavidez in LA could sell out maybe the Forum?
You know what? I mean, Zurdo, he might be, more people might know who Zurdo is. I think he can bust a grape against Benavidez. I think this kid is going to be the real deal. He's going to make noise in that division. Zurdo, his last fight, I was there at the
Step Hub.
He didn't look good. Yeah, Step Hub. He didn't look good. He likes to fight like a short man. He doesn't use his attributes. He fights like a smaller man. He's not, I don't know, he's not all that to me. You know, I think this kid's going to make some serious noise. And he should become world champion at 20.
Any other thoughts, Rob, on the weekend of fights?
Huh?
Any other thoughts on the weekend?
Yeah, my boy lost to the monster in Norway. Up in Japan, I don't think there's anybody who could beat that monster. That monster's a beast. He'll beat Chocolatico. He'll beat Gallo Estrada. I don't think anyone can touch him. All right.
Well, all right, Rob. Thanks for calling in, brother. Make sure you get him down, Matt. We're going out to Minnesota. Jose, talk to us.
Hey, you guys, how you doing? Just want to say thank you again for taking my phone call. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
Oh, yeah, I want to say this is a good weekend at of boxing. I think Terence Crawford is a beast. I think he'll probably dominate at the 147. It'd be nice to see him against Thurman. Nice to see him against top-notch fighters. I'm gonna say probably it's gonna be between Spence and Kell Brook. We're probably gonna be the best fighters out of the 147. And in the meantime, but I think we're in a really great era right now. I mean, we got Canelo, who's incredible what he's done. We got Andre Ward again. he doesn't get enough credit.
Jose, we seem to have lost your connection. Jose, can you get to the phone or see what you got going on? Maybe your Bluetooth disconnected there. He's not listening. We're gonna go out to MC Raheem in Miami. Talk to us.
Hey, what's going on with y'all, man? What a great weekend of boxing. Congratulations to Gervonta Davis and Crawford. I saw glimpses of a young Floyd Mayweather. What he was called Pretty Boy back then when he was real mean and knocking people out. And the young brother is real explosive. Crawford, I think he's great. But at the same time, if you want to fight a guy that's taller than you and you don't move your head in the third round, your eyes will be swole up like that. So you got to do better than that. You got to come in shape, and you got to be willing to go through hell and die to get to the man and get on the inside and beat him up. A guy with good foot movement like that, if you don't come in shape and you ain't willing to bleed like a Joe Frazier to get what you want, then don't even show up to the fight. But anyway, I thought he fought real well. And he has brass balls calling out Keith Thurman like that. And one time to give him what he want, man. But that's my call.
Raheem.
Y'all take care.
Raheem, is that a Miami
Yes,
thing because you a Floridian or do you just believe in one time?
I've been following the guy for a while, but at the same time, I think the man's skills are there for me to believe in. It's not like I'm, believing in a bum. You know what I mean? The man's nice.
No. And I totally agree. I'm just, I want to make sure that there is no patriotism, being as though you're coming from Florida or whatever. No Floridian in it, because I believe that Terence is bold as well, calling out Thurman. I think Thurman is a tough fight.
Right. I mean, he pulls back with his hands not up, and the body's still there, the head's still there, and he's faster than what's this guy he just fought? Diaz. But I love Crawford's tenacity. I love that street in him. So I got nothing but respect for the guy. He's mean, but believe me, one time is a very smart boxer. And in boxing, the smartest guy usually wins. Brute strength rarely prevails. You know what I mean? Unless you're just scared of the guy. But the smartest guy usually wins. And I believe these guys are both smart boxers. At the same time, I think Crawford can beat Spence, just like Floyd beat Canelo, because of foot movement. I don't, he can juke and do certain things where he won't get cornered and trapped. But I don't think he can stay away from one time for 12 rounds like that. But I think he can stay away from Spence. That's just my opinion.
Well, all right, Raheem. Thank you for calling in, brother, all the way out in Miami, man. We're going to be awfully close to Miami come July for Border Wars, man. We need to go out and have a coffee. Gary in Dallas, 214, talk to us.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Crawford is so dominant. I think pound for pound, he might be the best fighter in the world. I think if he moves up to 147, he dominates that division. I think at 147, he could take a 2-up fight with Broner, and we can get a bigger money fight with maybe the winner of Spence and Brook or maybe Pacquiao. But I don't think even at 147, I could take him either. He came into the ring at 160, so he wouldn't be small for the 147 weight class either. And Gervonta Davis, he's the future best fighter in boxing. You guys see him Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, are you on speaker by any chance? Because you sound very bad.
Hang on. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you guys see the Gervonta Davis fight?
We seen them all.
All right. Davis, that guy, he's the future. The pinpoint accuracy, the hand speed, the foot speed, the athleticism, the power, that guy is the future. That's my call. And I was looking at you guys' website, all the Boxing Voice shirts, but you ain't got no Italian flag shirt. What's up with that?
You sure?
Don't.
I'm positive. I would have bought one. You know what I mean?
I'll
You guys are leaving me out to try that.
I'll double check that, Gary. We're gonna get you Italian TBV coming ASAP status. We're going from Gary in Dallas to Gabe in Salt Lake City.
Yo, how's it going, gentlemen? Let's start off with press like, go drop a review, and join Patreon. But let's get to the fights, man. I think we need to pump the brakes on Davis, man. If everyone's calling him the future, he's the star, he's here, he's right now, then let's put him up against Lomo. He got the belt. No excuses. He's too young. If you want to give him the high praise, throw him in there with the big dogs. That's my opinion. I think the fight to make, though, for him to really gauge where he's at is the Salido fight. Salido's a guy that comes. He's a veteran. He'll take those punches. We've seen Salido do it. We've seen him get knocked out, but I think Salido will take the punches. We'll really gauge where Davis is at on that fight. I think Crawford, if he has a chance, he needs to do the Ndongo fight. Man, if he has a chance to really unify all 4 belts, that hasn't been done in a long time. I think that's what he needs to do, really cement himself as a 140. And I think he wipes the floor with anybody from 147 to 135. I know you're saying 135. The reason I'm saying 135 is because of Mikey. He's already calling out people at 147 as well. But, yep, that's my call. People saying that Murata got robbed. He didn't throw enough punches. Can't say he got robbed. And David Benavidez is the future. He is the man. I can't wait to see him. Thanks, TBV. Late.
All right, Gabe, thanks for calling in, brother. We're going to go out. Looks like Texas, right? Is that 210 Texas? I think that is San Antonio. San Antonio. Let's see. What is going on? Matt, can you click that? Can't get it.
I got it.
210. San Antonio.
210, what's good?
First time
What's
caller?
good, big dogs? How y'all doing?
right.
Yes, sir. First time caller, big dogs.
Perfect. We love first time callers. So listen, how long have you been listening to the show?
Big dogs. I've been listening to y'all guys. I would say maybe about 3 or 4 months. This is the first time I call, man. I'm very grateful and appreciative, man. I get to hit the line with you, big dogs.
Oh, great. So here we're gonna go ahead and play this first time caller intro. You know that is our tradition. After you hear that, you go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let us know your name and where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut,
Young Tigre from San Antonio, Texas.
Young Tigre?
Yes, sir.
Like, okay. So what, you Dominican?
No, sir. Young Tigre. Los Tigres del Norte, big dog.
Okay. Talk to us, brother.
Right now, first I want to shout y'all out, man. I think y'all got a dope show, man. I fuck with y'all heavy. First off top, man, I want to say that boy Crawford cold with it, man. He solid 140. It's a wrap for him, man. He's cold blooded. And then you know what I mean? Shoot.
Did you watch
the
rest of the
business,
fights?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, he took care of business, man. Diaz looked, I thought Diaz was going to be sharper than that, man, but Crawford cold-blooded, man. Other than that, shoot. I think he need to go 147, man, and there's going to be a test. It's going to be a test for him, man.
Well, he's talking Pacquiao, man. What do you think his chances are versus a guy like Manny Pacquiao?
I think Pacquiao, he's too old school for him, man. I think Crawford probably tear him up, man, more than likely. I think he'll hold his weight with Pacquiao. He'd probably finish him off, man. Pacquiao, he's on his way out, man. That's what I think.
Well, all right. Tigre. Thanks for calling in, brother, all the way in San Antonio. We're going to get out to some other callers. We got Larry and actually we don't have Larry. Looks like we're about done, Matsky. Right on time too, right? Because we got to get prepared for TBV overtime and whatnot.
I don't think we've done any preparation for it.
Who?
Me or you? Have you scheduled the overtime show?
Yep.
Oh, you just damn! Look at you.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I do, though. You know, always on time, always on call. Shanti said it. You know what I mean? You don't know about dope lyrics like that.
You rep Drake over Joe Budden, and you're talking about dope lyrics. That's hilarious.
Oh God! So, what did we learn this weekend, Matthew? What did we learn?
I don't know. I mean, what did we learn, Ness? I mean, did we learn anything this weekend that we didn't already know?
Definitely, yeah. I think we did. You know, if we want to be, especially if we want to be optimistic, we learned that Crawford is probably better than what we all expected, right? Like, because we all expected him to beat Felix Diaz, but I think that he's starting to fall in that Mayweather realm where it's like one of the callers said, like he's whooping their ass. It's like, you know, he's starting to make guys look like they're levels and levels below him that we just don't see it. Like we don't see the challenge for him there. So yeah, I think that we did learn at least that with him. We knew he was good, but we didn't know how good. And he, with this fight, really separated himself from a lot of guys. I mean, look, we got callers calling in saying he'd beat Keith, he'd beat Pacquiao. I mean, I think we did learn something in this fight.
One other thing we learned, that for some reason, my repping of Julius Ndongo has now carried over to the listeners, because everyone was saying that he should fight Ndongo. A lot of people were saying that, and that kind of surprised me. I didn't think we would get a majority of people saying that he should fight Ndongo first and then fight Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman. That's new to me. I don't know how Ndongo has done this, or the idea of a unified, undisputed champion.
One person said that, and that's because they wanted it to be built up, and it was Suleiman, and you said it was ridiculous to build.
No. He wanted Terence Crawford to fight Francis Bartholomew.
Yeah, and
I didn't want that. There's a lot of people in the chat and our callers that mentioned.
Yeah, but he also wanted Relic to fight Ndongo. I'm
not talking about those fights. I'm talking about the Terence Crawford and Ndongo fight. The idea of, I want him to be the undisputed champion at 140 first before he moves up. That need for boxing fans, that they need that to happen. That's new to me. I haven't really felt that urgency from the boxing fans to have an undisputed champion in a very long time. Is it the Triple G effect? I don't know. But for some reason, they want Terence Crawford to take a fight that means nothing against a competition that's way less than a Manny Pacquiao or a Keith Thurman for belts, for trinkets that mean really nothing in the long run.
So that he could cement his legacy, because they feel like he's up in the division.
Thurman, if he beat Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, that cements his legacy way more than a Julius Ndongo.
But the Thurman and the Manny Pacquiao fight will always be there. The Ndongo fight will not.
I don't agree with that.
Once you fight Manny Pacquiao or Thurman, what the fuck are you doing fighting Ndongo? He needs to. That's what I'm saying. So you solidify, and in the history books it says undisputed.
With a guy like Manny Pacquiao who could at any moment leave this sport, you get that grab as fast as possible.
I hear you, bro. But Manny Pacquiao's got to fight. He hasn't even fought yet. Listen, we're gonna take the IG master, Alex. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Ness? What's going on, Matt? Hey,
Alex.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for taking my call, man. What's up, Matt?
How you doing?
Oh, thank you. Good. Like you said something. Hey, man, great night of boxing. I was so happy yesterday. Hey, Raymond Beltran, man, the guy was impressive, man. That knockout, fighting for that visa, man. He knocked this guy clean out, man. It was great. Crawford, man, I think the best is yet to come. I don't even think he's been tested. I mean, you see Felix Diaz, he hit him once, didn't hurt him, but he did tag him once, and all that did was piss off Crawford, man. And he continued to put an ass whipping on him. And I think he beats Pacquiao. I think he beats Thurman. And I would love to see him in there, man. He's weighing almost 160 on the day of the fight, so 147 won't be a problem. I know Ndongo here could become the unified there, but I was hoping Jose Ramirez could get those titles from Ndongo. Gervonta Davis, man, looking like a star, man. But Liam Walsh, though, I don't know why the hype was up about Liam Walsh anyways. B-level UK fighter, Bartholomew, I can't pronounce his name, Bartholomew, you know who I'm talking about. He looked like he lost. He looked like shit. I don't know why anybody would want to give him a fight. Briggs, I'm disappointed in. Dirrell loses against DeGale or Jax. Russell looked good. What else, man? What I missed, fellas? Benavidez, but his competition. I mean, how good was his competition?
Do you want David Benavidez versus Gervonta Ramirez in LA? Will you come down for that if that happens?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, hey, I'll be there for that one. That's a good one. I take Benavidez on that one.
I do too. I think Benavidez can beat James DeGale, honestly. Benavidez has that power. That's the same part. Like, his power is unreal.
Yeah, it does. And DeGale, like I said, I think he lost against Jax anyways. I think he lost against Bondi Jack. But great show, fellas, man. Boxing Voice, man. Get with us, man. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon. If the show's not enough for you and you want more, sign up for Patreon. I mean, we got from $1 to $100, man. Whatever you could afford, get in there, get extra boxing content. The Boxing Voice.
Alex, thanks for calling in, brother. Listen, speaking of Patreon, we got to cut up out of here because we do got to get to our TBV overtime that is only on Patreon. So, any final thoughts?
And for all the people that do not know the new rule change with TBV overtime, we are cutting out blog talk for TBV overtime. So, if you want to call in, Skype, add Nestor Gibbs.
Yes.
That is the only way you'll be able to call in.
Yes.
Boxing Voice on TBV overtime, unfortunately.
Yes.
So, do that. Go add Nestor Gibbs. And I hope you enjoy the show. Hit that like button. Hit the share button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. TBV Empire, the TBV network. We're coming at you. Every podcast. You're on a hit list now.
Present past.
We're coming for you.
Oh, shit. Coming for him. Future, present, past. Hit that thumbs up button. Doesn't matter. Always helps with the visibility of the show. Lets me and my co-host know this is what you want to hear. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Final thoughts, Bud. I hope you or Brian McIntyre stuck around this long to hear me again reiterate that you have separated yourself from the crop. Call-outs of Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman have also duly impressed me. So I am just salivating, waiting for the moment when you get back in the ring to see which direction do you take. Either direction for me is okay, whether it be Ndongo, Pacquiao, and the creme de la creme, Keith one time, call him two times for both those belts, Thurman. That would be a big fight. I know that Bob Arum said that fight is nowhere near made or being made. And it makes sense because if you're going to do something with Thurman, you're going to do it down the line. You want to build that fight up. And how do you build that fight up is by trying to get that torch from Pacquiao, that in-house fight. So I think that's the direction that they're going. But co-hosts, what up?
Final thoughts. Terence Crawford, pound for pound, maybe top 3. I mean, I don't really want to get in, pound for pound argument or debate with anyone because I think pound for pound is stupid. But Terence Crawford, his boxing skills on another level. There's very few guys on this planet right now that exhibit what he does in the ring, and I think he could be a star one day. I think he is not a star, unfortunately, because he does have star skills. What he does in the ring is something otherworldly. And I was talking to Ness about this on the live chat last night, that Terence Crawford is a masterclass. I want to watch Terence Crawford fights because I learn new things about boxing every time. He is that good. He is that insightful in the ring. that he gives epiphanies for people like me about boxing. Gervonta Davis, star in the making, star-making performance. I don't know, but he's definitely on the way to something special. David Benavidez, awesome performance. Anyway, Inui, awesome performance. Tanaka, Jose Tanaka, impressive for being only 9-0 and taking out Angel Acosta. Tons of great fights over the weekend, from Japan to the UK to the US. I just love it all. You can find me at Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, Mixed Combat News on Twitter, my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And remember, TBV Overtime on patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. Peace.
Peace. Nos vemos.